Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami Fort Lauderdale presents the Neil Rogers Show. To talk to Neil, call 567-0560 toll free for David Brower or pound 560 on your cell phone. The opinions of Neil, his guests, callers, or anyone else on the show do not necessarily reflect those of WQAM, Beasley Reed Acquisitions, or the Beasley Broadcast.
Okay.
Now, Neil Rogers on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
You get a lot of it. Neil Rogers on Sports Hole Radio, WQAM.
Al Gore, as you have never heard or seen him before.
4 years ago, you gave me your nomination to be vice president. This is some crowd. I've been watching you doing that Macarena on television. And if I could have your silence, I would like to demonstrate for you the Al Gore version of the Macarena. I am not trying to do Macarena. 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 Would you like to see it again?
No.
Tengo mucha compasión. Tengo mucha emoción. Tengo mucha pasión y un gran corazón. When your alarm goes off in the morning, Macarena. When one of your children reaches for cereal and fruit, Macarena. 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 Macarena.
Okay, time for that little comedy show that we have during midday to break up all the neurotic sports crap because these sports nerds have no life whatsoever. Minute after 10 at 560 WQAM. And by the way, we're delighted to have some of these people that are so stupid, so moronic that they don't realize that they have their own fax machine upstairs with their own separate number. And amazingly enough, it's the same handwriting of the chronic faxers. That's our poll question today. Who's sicker, the chronic callers who claim they hate the shows that they're calling into, or the chronic faxers who hate the whole radio station? Like Tracy Foster, obviously a phony name. Yesterday morning, we had all kinds of faxes in here directed toward the worst team. From Tracy Foster. You guys suck. There's too many spots. I'm never going to listen again. I'll tune in on draft day. See, anybody who says they'll tune in on draft day, that should tell you everything you need to know right up front. But this morning, Tracy Foster faxes on the wrong machine, to our machine. And by the way, I'm delighted. Any faxes you want to send to the worst team, send them to us, okay? Because we'll read them on the air. Biggest race in NASCAR this weekend. You guys are have time to talk about high school recruiting without racing. Francis turns over the reins, and you guys are talking about effing Columbus High. Well, maybe they like effing Columbus High. Maybe there's a lot of effing going on at Columbus High. You think there could be?
Yes.
From what we're hearing? Try something new, Boog, just like you're not going for your fourth helping of fried chicken. Oh, he is getting monstrous, isn't he? He really is. He's just enormous. He is a sports monster, the Boogster. And that was like 2 weeks ago, right? About 2 weeks? You could imagine in the interim, he might have gotten even bigger. Try talking about something new, and that goes on. Same recycled bull is what it says here. 6 to 10, football. 10 to 2, hockey. 2 to 6, name drop. Are they suggesting that Hank is a name dropper? 6 to 9, baseball. 10 to 6, gambling. No changes. Boring radio. The only thing that changes are the spots. Signed Tracy W. Foster. And by the way, Big O, could you do a 10-minute update on Easter Sunday? Shut up already. So at least it's amusing. I find it really amusing. And here's somebody who claims that he or she or it is never going to listen again and it listens every minute. Talk about the swimsuit issue. Anything new, it says. First of all, how can you knock them when you listen to the callers? Hey, I got 2 formulas for the heat. Yeah, I got a formula for you, okay?
Rectum.
Yeah, that's your formula. And then here's a fax from one of the most chronic of all the handwriting faxes that we've ever had. I mean, going back to the old IOD and to Paxton, the little scrawl. You've heard me refer to it, the little scrawler. And this one is also addressed to Boog Shambi. Anybody out there? Okay, that's our poll question this morning. Come on, let's hear it. Who do you like better on the morning show, Geldie or the Boogster? That's an excellent poll question. Come on, let's hear it. 5670560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. We'll see if we have any crossover at all. Who do you enjoy better on a morning show? Who brightens your morning better, the Boogster or Geldie? Not that we want to knock Geldie while he's up there with a hockey team in Ottawa. So anyway, it says, go and lose a few pounds, Boog. You have no respect for your elders and about Josh Friedman this and these are like chronic faxers that we get all the time, who are also faxing the morning show. You're sick, you have no lives. Isn't it great that we have people on the phone and on the fax machine? No life assholes. Aren't they going to respond to my question here this morning?
No.
Come on, let's go. That's a very pertinent question, which I think indicates we have no crossover whatsoever. 5670560 and pound 560 on a mobile one line. I'll grab them. This is just a quick mini poll here. Boogster or Geldie? And they're all going, who? That's amazing. This is frightening. This is truly shocking.
No, they're all calling thinking they can vote off the air.
What do you mean they're all calling? How many calls did you
Both
have?
of them.
QAM.
Yeah, hi.
Yes.
How you doing?
Okay.
Is this Neil?
Yes.
Neil, Boo gets the nod.
Okay, thank you. QAM.
Boo blows.
QAM.
Yeah, I'll vote.
Yeah.
I'll vote.
Who do you vote for?
Booster.
Like the Boogster. What about Geldie?
Yeah, Geldie's all right, but I like Boog. I like
the
him alone
Boogster
too.
better.
I like him alone too.
And you like him with is that the orange hair that does it?
I like him alone on the air.
Oh, I see. Okay, thanks. Oh, man, you people are so goddamn recalcitrant. Come on, lighten up, loosen up a little bit. I know where we are. I know it's depressing to look out the window, even though the weather's pretty decent, but we know where we are. But loosen up a little bit, bastards. QAM, hello. QAM.
Hello?
Yes.
Geldie sucks, okay?
Yeah.
Boog all the way. Thank you.
Okay. Did he say?
Jerzagaki sucks.
Okay. QAM.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
I just picked a big Boogster.
You like Boog?
It tastes gross.
Okay. QAM. Hello.
QAM. Neil. Hello?
Yes.
Yes, sir. I just picked a big Boogster.
Go ahead, sir. Turn that. What a jerk. What a jack-off you are, pal. You couldn't even spit out one word. Come on, how difficult is this? This is an easy exercise. Let's go. Christ, we ought to have 50 million people out there with strong opinions about this. As if we have any crossover between these shows. You think we do?
No.
No, I don't. QAM, hello.
I shot Winnie the Pooh.
QAM. Oh, that was Boog. QAM, hello.
Goldie, I fucked him
Oh, that was a great job there. That was a nice bleep. Nice going, pal.
Oh.
Excellent. See, I told you guys could do it. So let me ask you, how was it? QAM, hello.
Poker Brian blows.
Oh, all right. All right. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? There are some real sick puppies out there, and on the fax machine, on the phone, on Uranus, on your
rectum.
They're everywhere, man. They're just glued. No life, not even a semblance of a life. 24 hours a day. They don't even have time for like a little nap, a mini nap. QAM.
Boog for president.
Okay. Boy, Boog seems to be running away with this. I sure hope for Geldie's sake they're not listening upstairs, the management types. QAM, hello.
To show you how bad they both are, I take Rimmer.
QAM, hello.
I vote for Geldie.
Calling in long distance from Ottawa, huh? QAM, hello.
They both suck. Bring back Phil Hendry.
QAM, hello.
Neil.
Yes. Oh, he must have heard. Hello, yes.
Neil, I vote for Boog.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you so much. Do we have any calls for Geldie from somebody that wasn't joking?
No.
No. I don't want to make him insecure with that scratchy, awful prepubescent voice of his, but man. In fact, I guess I heard them this morning, tomorrow morning, that's going to be the same deal because Geldie's on the road with a hockey team and Defoe's in rehab or on vacation, whichever one you want to believe, depending on how juvenile you are. And, boy, one more day I think could be like a Lou Gehrig thing. You know, Wally Pip, Wally, loan me your glove, and then Lou plays 50,000 games in a row. Although I don't think anybody as fat as the Boogster can be getting up that early in the morning like on a regular basis. Do you think so?
No.
Wow. Although, you know, it's getting up in the morning. When you get up and do a morning show, you can be eating cheeseburgers like by 7:30, like we used to do on Zeta. Oh, yeah. If you're a little bit creative, you'll find, in fact, Chuck from the Subcenter, I'm sure, if we talk to him real nice on their behalf, he'll bring them all kinds of good stuff early in the morning. We could get Boog up to like Al Goldstein size by the end of June, I would think. So far it's a runaway, okay? This is just like a little sidebar. Because I think it's interesting to find out whether we have, number one, any crossover. Number two, if Geldie is really as universally despised as I think he might be with that voice. It's not personal. Is it personal?
Yes.
It's like the thing with Sam. Is that personal?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, congratulations for the Neil Rogers rating party last night. Power 96/Neil Rogers rating party. Yours tells me everybody had a good time. The food was great. The booze was great. And that there were some decent people there, except for a couple of them, including Sam, the promotion man, who continues to be unctuous and phony and full of real smelly crap.
Oh, God, Neil.
If you loved George Martin's recent farewell CD, In My Life, featuring famous Beatles tunes recorded by such tone-deaf celebrities as Jim Carrey, Robin Williams, Goldie Hawn, and Sean Connery, you'll absolutely flip over his newest Last Adventure, In My Life, Volume 2, the follow-up to the original CD he had no business making in the first place. Hear Jack Nicholson.
I am the Eggman. We are the Eggmen. I am the walrus. Freaking chew, man.
George Martin's In My Life, Volume 2, also features Jerry Lewis.
Great lady, Madonna, children at your feet.
Paul Reiser.
I'm thinking, love you take is equal to the love you make. This is what I'm saying. Is it just me?
Here, Sir George coaxed the best out of Matthew Chandler Perry from Friends.
Could there be more lonely people?
So what are you waiting for? Pick up George Martin's In My Life, Volume 2, today. After all, it's easier than flying to New York to spit on John Lennon's grave.
This is Tom Brokaw in New York. I read the news today. Oh, boy. I'll see you tonight.
By the way, he cannot speak a lick. It's getting worse by the minute. I was channel surfing real fast because I never, ever watched the NBC Nightly News. And he was saying, you can't understand a word that this man is saying. That's our poll question. Who's got the worst speech problem, Geldie, Barbara Walters, or Tom Brokaw? What do you think? I'm serious. He's got the quaggle is getting worse and worse and worse. This guy's getting paid millions of dollars. There are a lot of people out there get upset if I would even suggest that the guy doesn't belong on the air. He's been on there for since before Dave Garroway was a baby, about 200 years. He got me. Yeah, I knew it. It's getting worse and worse and worse. Here's Boca. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I want to cast my vote.
Yes?
Get rid of Joe Rose and leave Boogster and Geldie there.
Boogster and Geldie. So a big no to the little dog.
Big no.
Okay, thank you so much. The little dog with a big head. See, they're all over the place on this. Why do we have to drag him in there? Okay, he can't help it. He's a dumb ex-jock. He can't help it with a thick tongue. Who just doesn't know when to get out of the show, when to do the last commercial break. He's got, a few little problems like that. And by the way, speaking of, since they're in the same building and right upstairs, and since they're such a, for a bunch of, it's like we were talking about picking up one of the calls, and the two guys passing the phone back. No, you talk to him. No, you talk to him. Hey, Mikey, he likes it. That kind of deal. See, this is supposed to be the macho sports station. All these macho guys. Yeah, right. And I think Al Goldstein may have had a point.
That's a gay club, you moron.
What a bunch of pussies, man. I mean, here they are upstairs in these new make-believe phony baloney studios that Greg Reed slapped together just in time for Super Bowl week so we didn't have to be embarrassed and humiliated with that toilet on Sheridan Street. And they still, you tell me this. I ask you every morning, because I'm not going to go up there. Every morning I ask you this and you tell me the same answer.
No.
And the question is, have they got like a real TV up there, like the one that Jeff Cohen brought us?
No.
Do they have the cable?
No.
Do they have their DSS, the direct TV?
No.
So, in other words, here's poor Ed Kaplan. Oh, okay, I vote for Goldie. That's what Boog says. Yeah, because he don't want to get up 4 in the morning. That's the only reason for that. And I don't blame him. But at any rate, the deal is that they got nothing up there. And Ed Kaplan's on there at night with a gambling show. How can you do an illegal gambling show with no information? They got a sports wire that's got the scores from last week. That's a hell of a sports wire, baby. Some big deal with that. So I think we're going to have to step in and fill the breach because there are a bunch of pansies up there, just like their audience. Maybe we'll have to beg for somebody like our friends from
Digital World Satellite.
Digital World Satellite, since we love them so much, and we've had no problem here since the first day we were on the air. Because before we came on the air, we put the word out. We were begging, and here was opponent. How long did it take? The first couple of days they were over here slapping that thing in there, right?
Yeah.
Before
about an hour altogether.
No, but I don't mean how long did it take to put it in, but I'm just saying in terms of getting this done. Very easy project.
Oh, when we take care of it, yeah.
Right. Jeff Cohen brings us over a nice TV with a built-in VCR. And a guy from the Digital World Satellite comes in, gives us a DSS. They hook it up for us outside, hook it all up in here. We've been going strong for 13 and a half months with this thing. And we thank them profusely. Oh! But you guys upstairs, I realize Ed Kaplan doesn't have the clout, okay? When you're working late at night and when you're like a compulsive gambler, you don't have the kind of clout that some of the daytime people do. But some of these people are such a bunch of pussies, I would be demanding. I would just call up anywhere. I'd call Appliance TV Depot, say, hey, slap it in and send them a bill. That's all. Get it done. I mean, this is the nuts and bolts we need to work with, and I think we're going to have to step in there because otherwise Greg Reed is going to continue this slippery bullcrap that he did with us for months and months and months before we finally started on the air here. Slippery bullcrap. It's called lying. You know, he likes to, I had good intentions and I thought this and I thought, but it's called lying. It's called BSing your way through life and being as cheap as you can until somebody holds your feet to the fire and says, look, goddammit, this is what we got to have to do a show. We got a bunch of chronic gamblers out there. They don't want to hear stuff from like 5 years ago. They want to know what's going on now. They want to know that Philly lost to Anaheim 6-5 last night in that late game, or 5-4. Oh, and by the way, speaking of last night, and if you do have, I keep begging you people, especially you sports nerds, how can you live without the small dish? I look at the schedule for last night. It looks like the Hurricane Leafs game, which is the second last game ever at Maple Leaf Gardens, is not going to be on. I flip on my 365. There's the awful Tampa Bay and St. Louis. And 366, there's the DirecTV logo is on there, which means to me that they're going to be having the TSN, the Sports Network telecast from Toronto. And I said, holy Mackinac, is what I said. I'm going to be hearing Joe Bowen doing a Leafs game tonight. And what a game. Even though they lost, I understand the Panther fans are unhappy with us because we lost the game because the Leaf defense stayed home last night. But what a game.
Lead pass. Breakaway for Shepard. Stopped by Minnesota. Rebound turned over to Shepard. Second shot goes wide. Holy Mackinac. He keeps it in the game at 4-3. Sunday in for Derek King. And that was turned aside by Curtis Decision. Denny. Into the corner. Kraftwerk pushes it away. Derek King to the side. Cleared ahead. Intercepted by the foot race. So Curtis Johnson. In a goal. Oh! Johnson will get his fifth assist. And Steve Sullivan ties the game.
Unfreaking believable. There was about 5 minutes of that third period last night that I thought I was going to lose it. The most scintillating back and forth and up and down. Unbelievable. And the only way in the world I would have seen that is with the small dish. Why you people insist on being prisoners of the cable company or being prisoners of Greg Reed upstairs? I don't get it. If you want to have a life, get yourself a small dish. Do it right now. Go out of the house. Get in your car right now. Go to Appliance TV Depot. Go to one of your neighborhood. Everybody and their brothers got them. They come in, they install it. It takes 20 minutes, a half an hour to install it. And even the people with those condo commandos bugging them, if it's on their own property, they just passed a law here a couple of months ago. They can't tell you can't have it. And then you call up. In fact, your installer will make the call for you. 1-800-DIRECTV, whatever packages you want. You want the basic package, you want the sports package, the hockey package, the basketball, whatever you want. And there they are. There's all the games, like one after another after another. There's all the with an unbelievable crystal clear picture. Instead of taking crap from the cable people, or your rabbit ears. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to call and ask you if you've seen the article on 4A of the Sentinel about the gay Teletubby and the fact that Jerry Falwell has once again...
Not only have I seen it, sir, I talked about it yesterday on the air but got no response. I have it in my hand right now. Subtle depiction scene. Jerry Falwell, they had him on the national news last night, and he went bada-beep, bada-boom. His new tactic is this. First of all, he did the thing with the Jews and the Antichrist, and that didn't go over too big, so he kind of backpedaled away from that. Now he's doing this thing in his magazine that's published up there, the National Liberty Journal, and he said, well, I don't even know anything about Teletubbies, but the people that write for me, I stand by them just like any other publication would, and et cetera and so on. And now this morning, I guess he was on there doing the double talk, Al Kelly routine.
So, this shows that if he had any credibility at all,
well, who says he's got any credibility? Who says he's got any credibility? He's a shyster. He's another religious shyster. And a bigot. And a hate monger. And how the hell can these people continue propagating their religious empires without spreading hate? That's how they stay alive.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for saying that.
And God bless you, sir, and have a great life.
Okay, thank you.
Tinky Winky, there it is right here. You thought I was making this up yesterday, huh? And here's even a picture of Tinky Winky with his little purple, this thing. Even I got a little purple thing. Not as big as Tinky Winky's, but a little purple antenna on there. Maybe that's what they're supposed to have upstairs to pick up the channels. Let's get a Tinky Winky and sit his ass on a TV set, and maybe his little purple antenna will pick up all the goddamn channels that they need, all those gambling scores. The Reverend Jerry Falwell says Teletubby Tinky Winky is a gay role model. He's got the voice of a boy, yet carries a purse. He's purple, the gay pride color. Now, let me just say this to you, because I'm not one of these professional queens that, marches in the parades and has a rainbow flag on my... But so I thought the rainbow flag was the gay pride thing. It's like a rainbow of all the colors. Since when did purple become... Maybe some of our queens out there can inform me, get me up to date. Also, it says the antenna is shaped like a triangle, which is the gay pride symbol. That I've never heard of in my life. In my life, I've never heard that the purple triangle was a gay pride symbol. Falwell contends the subtle depictions. See, it's another one of those plots. Not that he's paranoid, but it's another part of the homosexual agenda. They're going to convert all our youngsters into homosexuals because they're watching Tinky Winky. I think Jerry Falwell's been playing too much with Tinky Winky. That's what I think. The subtle depictions are intentional. In a statement issued on Tuesday, said, as a Christian, I feel that role modeling the gay lifestyle is damaging to the moral lives of children. Role modeling the gay lifestyle. A spokesman for Itsy Bitsy Entertainment Company. Itsy Bitsy Entertainment Company, which licenses the Teletubbies in the U.S., said that what Falwell's newspaper described as a purse is actually Tinky Winky's magic bag. All right, let's squeeze your magic bag. Magic? The fact that he carries a magic bag doesn't make him gay, Steve Rice said. It's a children's show, folks. To think we would be putting sexual innuendo in a children's show is kind of outlandish, eh? The British show aimed at toddlers began airing on U.S. public TV last spring and is now as popular as Barney, a singing dinosaur, who also happens to be purple, which I mentioned yesterday. See, I'm way ahead of these bastards. What have I told you for years about these fakers? Without some kind of a scapegoat. 1 week it's the Jews. Next week we're back to the fags. Then it'll be the Schwarzers the week after that. Always got to be somebody. And then, of course, the Y2K problem. The end is near. Armageddon is coming. And let's head for the hills and send me your money. All this crap. When is the public... Well, I mean, get an education first and then get over this crap.
All of these things.
That's right. When in doubt, throw them all out. And start living like in the real world instead of in the Stone Age. God.
Having blonde hair and being real tall. Oh, a sweet thing. Making those little tasty meatballs. Oh, a sweet thing. They all have blue eyes in their heads, and they might come from Stockholm. You know that Nobel Prize came from there. Yeah, sure, a sweet thing. That Hammer Show. And Ace of Base. These are some Swedish things. Being really good at alpine sport. Oh, a Swedish thing. And being crazy about Bjorn Borg. Oh, a Swedish thing. They like to stop bubbles or a stop in 3 feet of snow. They didn't fight in World War II. Yeah, sure, a Swedish thing. A Swedish thing.
10:32 at 560. So Tracy, who's a sick chronic faxer, sends us another fax about Bring Back Bob Was Choosing. You know what they say about Bob Was Choosing?
He's an asshole.
Rhymes with losing. Sucks. So at any rate, speaking of sucks, I want to tell you right now, City Manager Pat Salerno of Sunrise,
He's an asshole.
the biggest. Now, first of all, you know, since we had the Mac Arena open and the Panthers season started, every time there's a telecast from there, or every time they show highlights on ESPN, they'll say, oh, now let's go to the National Car Rental Center in Sunrise, Florida. And, of course, the people there in Sunrise, they kind of like demanded that this be they want to put Sunrise on the map. Like there's somebody under the age of 100. When's the last time we had a call from Sunrise? I was thinking that this morning when I was reading this crap in the paper. In the 13 months that we've been on this radio station, you could count the number of phone calls that we've had from Sunrise on the fingers of one hand, and even if you had like a bad accident, still have probably a couple of fingers left over. Because there's nobody under the age of 100 in Sunrise. Sunrise is basically a place for dead people. In fact, when the arena is full of people, I was going to say hockey fans, but that would be a joke. When the Mac Arena is filled, where the concert or Panther game, that lowers the demographic in Sunrise, at least for a few hours. I mean, so dramatically, it's incalculable. But now, because we've got all these blue-nosed communities, you know, as Coral Gables was first, and then Coral Springs, and there are lots of others. Plantation, of course, famous for it. Oh, you can't have a satellite dish, you can't do this, you can't do that. And then Pembroke Pines did the same thing, but at least on the same page in the Herald where it has the big article and the picture here about stricter Sunrise sign code protested, there's to the left of that it says Pembroke Pines, city will listen to businesses on signs. Pembroke Pines at least is giving an ear to business owners unhappy with the citizen sign ordinance. So at least they're going to listen to them instead of threatening them and saying, if you don't like it here, leave town, go out of business, go broke. Pat Salerno, I want to tell you, you and whoever else is conspiring with you in the city of Sunrise, you are the biggest bunch of assholes I have ever run into in my life. And thank God that I don't have anything to do with any business in Sunrise. Beer neon is gone. And merchants who don't like that or any other provision in the city's new sign law in Sunrise should leave Sunrise too, a boisterous business crowd was told at this week's commission meeting. City Manager Pat Salerno,
he's an asshole,
shot down business owners' comments against the new sign law Tuesday night. He told them they can easily leave when their leases end, but that residents are here to stay and deserve a nicer-looking town. Is that incredible? How about if we have an ordinance that all the old farts have to move out of Sunrise? Oh. That'll make it a nicer-looking and smelling town, and it'll sure make driving through and around it a hell of a lot easier. See, Sunrise is, if you look on a map, like a real map, Sunrise like juts around here and there. Like by me, if I go out there on Sunrise Boulevard and go west like one block, now I'm in Sunrise. I live in Plantation in the Acres. So, but on the other side of the street on Sunrise, that's still Plantation. But on the north side, like where the arena is and where the Sawgrass Mills Mall is, that's Sunrise. So it kind of like juts and creeps and sticks and it's all over the place. But if you drive, like, if you go north of where I am, if you go like up Nob Hill or you go up Oakland Park Boulevard, and the deeper you get into Sunrise, the older and more impossible it becomes because there are all these people, all these old farts in their Jew canoes driving around in 3 lanes at a time, going 15 miles under the speed limit, who have no business being on the road, and they're not concerned about that. Pat Salerno says neon is gaudy and garish. See, I don't know about you. I like neon. I like neon signs. I think they're sharp.
They're pretty and
colorful. They're pretty and they stand out. I say God bless whoever invented neon. He says even the traditional neon open signs are banned unless they're under a non-transparent cover, whatever that means. I don't know what that means. If they're not under a non-transparent cover, how can anybody see them? Neon has its place, he said. Exposed neon's place is in red light districts. Aha! Now we're getting to it. Well, you know something, Pat? Evidently, you never leave Sunrise because the only red light district that I've seen Berlin, a few others, but the only red light district that's really famous that I've ever been in is the one in Amsterdam. And are there any neon signs there? No. But the only neon lights that he thinks belong in a red light district somewhere, where there's hanky-panky going on. Like the old farts in Sunrise are going to be like lining up at the stores because they think there's hookers waiting inside. He used a projector to show pictures of Sunrise business fronts with neon signs, paint or paper flyers tacked all over the windows. This is blight, and this is visual blight, and it's the type of blight the commission is working to rectify for 10 years, he sternly told the audience, which at times broke into shouts against the ordinance. The merchants had spoken out at the commission meeting to oppose a 6-month-old law that will be enforced with warnings starting today. Enforcement of the exposed neon ban starts in August. And there's a picture in the Sun-Sentinel story. This is the Herald story. Damaris Rodriguez, she's the co-owner of One Price Cleaners on West Oakland Park Boulevard, and it shows the front of her store, and there's nothing wrong with it. But she won't be allowed to keep her big signs in her shop window under a strict new ordinance, and there's also a neon sign that says beepers. Oh boy, that's got to go too, Damaris. This kind of crap, these kind of blue noses, this is what South Florida is all about. It's like the condo commando mentality. People that have no lives, so let me be a big shot, okay? Let me stick my nose into your business. Let me go and open up your mail. Let me just see if your car is parked exactly where it ought to be in the right way. Let me see if you wiped your rectum this morning in the right spot exactly the way the law requires. This is bullcrap. Just like that guy that called me yesterday says, oh, well, this is America. This is the land of the free. And I just, oh, yeah. This is the land of millions of little dictators. Little dictators. I bet you Pat Salerno's hung like a butterfly. I bet you he's got, seriously. Because obviously he's got an ego problem. Got to boss all the people around. And of course, when you're in a community, a city, whatever the hell they call it, a place like Sunrise, a place that's basically a bastion of death. He's pandering to the dead old people that are his constituents, the ones that vote. Not to the living and breathing people who have a business that are trying to make a goddamn living up there. Let me say it again, Pat. You're an asshole, and anybody else that sides with you there in Sunrise is a major flaming asshole, and shame on you. Shame on you. Hard-working people that invest all of their money and all of their time and their energy into building a business, and God only knows it's a hard, with all the competition out there, it's a hard damn thing to do. And then some jackass like this comes along arbitrarily and decides, oh, well, you can't do this and you can't. And some of these bastards, by the way, will be leaving town. They're going to wind up going out of business. Damaris, by the way, whose picture's in the Herald, says, if I take the signs down, I'm going to lose my business. This will affect all the businesses in the city of Sunrise. But don't confuse Pat Salerno with this.
Jeff Bush, break the move!
Jennifer Lopez, you've got huge buns. Hiding under it eclipses the sun. There are parts of you that will never tan. Nothing grows under your giant can. Jennifer Lopez, we're stunned. No way it could grow again. We can't believe that your butt's widening. Let us know when it stops growing.
10:45 at 560 WQAM. Look at all the fax paper this clown wasted. The new invention allows humans to live forever. Oh! There you go. Eternal life foot braces. Oh, this must be like the magnetic insoles for your shoes. See how to make the eternal life devices. Patent pending here. Lower blood pressure, cholesterol, be energetic, have a much lighter wallet, lose some weight back there. Unbelievable, the kind of chicanery and quackery. And you know something? Too bad we didn't think of it. Somebody's going to make a lot of money. No matter what kind of bull crap, the bigger piece of crap like these infomercials. How many times have I told you? Like Ron Popeil with those things that cost them a nickel, and for only 72 easy payments of $39.95, they can be yours. Here's Kendall. Hello.
Yeah, why don't you take a poll? Who's more annoying, Geldie or Boca Brian?
Yeah, he's back again, George. Your buddy's back again. What is his number again, this guy, the Boca Brian guy?
Oh, the anti-Boca guy?
Yeah, because that's his second call this morning. Anybody should know that we don't do 2 calls in one day.
305.
305.
888. 0693.
888-0693. So if you're one of those people that likes Boca Brian, or maybe you agree with this guy about Boca Brian, he'd probably like to talk to you because we sure don't want to talk to him. He's wasting our time. What is the number again? 305 what?
888. 0693.
Huh. And 888, I think that's a toll-free number, isn't it? Okay, we have an open line in Dade where that jackass just hung up. 5670560 and pound 560 on the Mobile One line. Here's Fort Myers. Hello.
Yes, good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Well, I enjoyed watching Katie Couric grill Jerry Falwell this
I didn't
morning.
see it.
She realized that this guy probably never saw the Teletubbies, so she asked him, have you ever watched the Teletubbies?
No.
And he says, I've never seen the Teletubbies, and I don't watch it, and I'm sure you don't. And she replied back, I watch it all the time.
Uh-huh.
So there you go. Did you see the Kennel Club show last night?
No.
I don't watch that. I was watching the Maple Leafs in Carolina last night. I'm watching a Kennel Club. Get a life, pal. Call me when you have something new to say. The same guy again with a goddamn dog show with a Kennel Club. Jesus Christ. Man. The fax machine loaded with the same dreck. The phone loaded with the same dreck. Let's get some new living and breathing people on here, okay? 5670560 and pound 560 on the Mobile One. It's enough to make you want to puke all over your shoes, and I don't even have my shoes on right now. Sitting here with my tootsies on this little thing on the floor, or whatever this. What do you call this thing?
Footrest.
On a foot thing. Here's Miami Beach. Hello.
Hey, don't forget about Sunrise. That the business lettering can be no larger than 4 inches.
Yeah.
You know where I worked
That's
at.
how Pat Salerno got in.
Exactly. If where I worked at, if our business logo, our signs had to be 4 inches less, we would be out of business within 2 months.
Yeah.
But you were talking about the gay flag. In the sending order from the top, it's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and some people put on a little white lambda thing on there.
Uh-huh.
And
what did I just get you saying about chronic callers? What did I just get you saying only moments ago? And here we are with again, just like Fredo said when he was sitting on the curb there in The Godfather after Don Corleone got shot with 5 bullets. And he was rocking back and forth, sobbing with his head in his hand, again, because he was useless, you know, Fredo. Not dumb like some people say. He's smart, not dumb. Jesus Christ. Here's a mobile in Cooper City. Hello.
Neil, how
Yes,
you
sir.
doing?
Okay.
All right, one word for Sunrise.
Yes.
Morrison's Cafeteria. That's what they need out there.
Yeah.
But anyhow, on the poll.
Don't they have one?
Yes, if they don't, they should.
They ought to have like one on every street corner.
The only early bird they need out there is a funeral home.
Uh-huh. I'm guarantee you they got plenty of those.
But anyhow, the poll, that's like asking a man on death row, does he want the electric chair or
a bullet
poison
in the
gas?
brain, yeah.
I'll take poison gas. I'll take Boogster.
Okay, there you go.
All righty.
And have a great day. Oh, thank God, a different voice there. We have an open line in Broward, 56705. I mean, seriously, if we wanted to talk to the same 8 people every day, we just rent a hall in the goddamn Holiday Inn and save the juice. I'm sure Greg Reed would love to do that. Save all the electricity for 4 hours.
Oh!
As long as we somehow got the spots on, or pretended we got the spots on. Man, get with it. Here's a mobile in West Palm Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. First thing, I can barely even hear you when you got me on hold.
Well, you know something? We've been talking about this for weeks, and it just isn't going to change.
Well, I can hear you fine
our
now.
engineering department, well, now is not important. What's important is when you're on hold, and our engineering department's got too many other fish to fry. It would probably take at least 5 minutes to adjust that.
I was about to turn the radio on, and I figured I wouldn't be able to hear you in time to again. You cut.
Well,
me off.
here we are.
But anyways, listen, I think I really got a problem here. I'm like you. I'm do no harm kind of guy. I don't really care what you do. Just don't bother me and don't harm me and my children. My problem is my daughter watches the Teletubbies. She got all the tapes. Her favorite's Tinky Winky.
Well, she's probably going to be a lesbian then.
Yeah, I know. And last Halloween, of course, that's what she dressed up as. And I don't know where to go with this thing. Now, my son's 8 months old, and he's watching it too. And
yeah.
I just don't know. This guy, Jerry Farwell, you know, how can he even say that when, like you were saying, he's never watched it or whatever, but they don't even show anything sexual in the show. They don't even show anything, you don't even know what type of thing this is. If it's
That's
male
the
or
point.
female.
Don't you understand?
There's no
Everything is subliminal. Don't you understand that, sir? Everything is like it's a communist plot. It's a fag plot. I mean, when you're dealing with delusionary, paranoid, psychotic people like Jerry Falwell, who are con artists, this is the best they can come up with.
You know,
He's making himself these last 2 weeks into the laughing stock. Not that anybody with a brain took him seriously for years since, but in the meantime, he is now the laughing stock of the universe.
When the show is over, I don't know who he's going to sleep with, whether it's Poe or whoever.
Yeah.
But the thing is they don't even show anything sexual.
Well,
my daughter's 3 years old. This guy is a jerk. I don't like.
That's going to be next week, pal. I would monitor that show very closely. It's going to be next week. They're going to be rubbing their antennae together. We have an open line at Dade 1 in Broward, 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I got a request, famous request. I want to know if you can play some of those Kurtz, the announcer for the Penguins, when they score a goal.
No.
Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Yeah. Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
Just a quick commentary on
Mike Lang's name. Yes.
On what's going on. My mom lived here in the States for 35 years until she moved to Europe, and she's over here now. And she heard this stuff with Jerry Falwell yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
My cousins in Copenhagen, their kids watch the Teletubbies and watching them for years, and she's crying. She's going, "What has happened to this country?"
That's the American fucking way.
Right.
Yeah. She goes, it's absolutely incredible. She's
Well, there's a letter to the editor, speaking of Denmark, from somebody from Denmark this morning in either the Herald or the Sun Sentinel about the Monica Gate, Penis Gate business, and about how all the people in Denmark and most of the rest of the civilized world are in shock that this crap can be going on, and they're making a big deal out of this and wasting all these millions of dollars on it. The world is just, they don't know whether to laugh or cry.
Right. They're absolutely dumbfounded. It's unbelievable that it continues. Anyway, I got to go back to work, and so that's it. And go Leafs.
Okay, have a great day. We have an open line at Dade 1 in Broward, 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Last game ever at Maple Leaf Gardens this Saturday night, Chicago Blackhawks and the Leafs. Early start, 6:30. They'll have a special telecast 6 o'clock, which I'm sure will be on a small dish. I'm positive of that. Boy, that was some bonus last night. TSN on the small dish. Leafs Carolina game. Unbelievable. And I'm probably the only person in this entire, all of South Florida who's seen it. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
You're a very sexy man.
What is it?
You're a very sexy man.
Yeah, And
also, what do you think about those Carolina team? Do you think the Panthers will catch up to them?
Do I think who's going to catch up with them?
The Panthers.
We'll find out. There's a great hockey call for you. Do I think that Carolina team, do I think the Panthers are going to catch up with them? Call up later on, okay? Call up tonight. They'll be making sports prognostications. They'll be giving you the odds in Vegas, the whatever they call that. Open line at Dade, 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. See, I know this comes as a great shock to you people. Sports talk is boring, okay? I know that comes as a great revelation. It's boring. They're talking about, the kid with a great arm at Piper High, and they're talking about the odds and are they going to cover and what's the number on this game. I'm going to tell you something, man. It's ponderous. It is so tedious. Well, what's the formula you think the Heat need? Which formula do you think You know something? If those were the worst problems that we had in the world, if those were the things that really, all we had to occupy our mind with was that crap, wouldn't that be fantastic? They're putting people out of business in Sunrise. They're putting business people, working people, out of business in Sunrise because they don't like their neon or their cardboard signs inside the window.
That's the American fucking way.
And that's part of the problem with this repressive goddamn backwoods society that doesn't know, that's got their priorities upside down, that worships a goddamn bunch of freaks. I channel surfing yesterday afternoon. Here's MSNBC. And now we know where they're going. Now that, because they're all throwing in the towel, because after tomorrow, I guess it's going to probably be tomorrow morning. In fact, they were going to originally have it 5 o'clock tonight, but because these speeches are going on, there's a chance it may drag over tomorrow, and we'll have it right live here on the air, the actual vote, as if we don't already know the outcome. So now they're moving on to Mike Tyson. And they got some illiterate, dark-complected boxer on there screaming at this prosecutor from Maryland, carrying on like a lunatic. And they've got, I'm sure you wouldn't know, maybe you've never heard the name, Bert Sugar, who writes for the boxing magazine, whatever. Here's one of these old-time, looks like a throwback like 50 years ago, okay? With the big hat and the glasses. He's a silly person, and his whole life is boxing. And he's never met a boxer who he didn't, glorify, glamour. See, the gutsy sports people, like Cosell years ago, they had the guts to tell you that boxing was barbaric and grotesque. Even a guy like Cosell, who got famous because of his coverage of boxing and his association with Muhammad Ali. In spite of that, he had the guts before he croaked to say, it's barbaric and it's got to stop. It's a bunch of crap. If you could just see this man, Bert Sugar, would tell you everything you need to know about the sports nerd. Just to look at him. Forget about what he had to say. Bert Sugar. I was getting like a diabetic overdose just watching his puss on there. A silly person defending the indefensible. Forget about the fact that he was on probation from Indiana and violated his probation, which he may get more. Just forget about that, okay? They're picking on him because he's Mike Tyson. They got his attorney on there, another Jew attorney defending him, of course, which I was embarrassed by.
Can beat that gator meat.
Are you in search of a high-paying temporary job but sick of the rules and regulations that govern the civilized business world? Then perhaps you should join the other thugs at the Luttrell Sprewell Temporary Service. At the Luttrell Sprewell Temporary Service, you'll be trained in the fine art of employer-worker relationships by Mr. Sprewell himself.
Say, for instance, some big fat cracker asks you to send a fax form. You just smile, rip the machine out the wall, and tell him you're going to kill him.
You'll also be schooled in Mr. Sprewell's revolutionary computer technique.
Now, someone asks you if you know how to use Windows. You reply, I sure as hell know how to throw your dumb ass out of one.
And best of all, the Luttrell Sprewell Temporary Service teaches all its employees Mr. Sprewell's time-tested salary negotiation method.
Once you get your hands around his neck, you apply constant pressure until it's time to see things your way.
Employees at the Luttrell Sprewell Temporary Service can make as much as $17.3 million every 2 years, with 5 months off to run people off the road with your Lexus.
Oh, hey, man, just get my car, I'm going to kill you.
The Luttrell Sprewell Temporary Service. Call today.
And when did his boxing career start, by the way? It's 11:02 at 560 QM. We went into the break. Every line on the board was lit, and I sat here and plink, plink. It was like playing Plinko on The Price is Right, watching him go out. 2 open lines in Dade, 2 in Broward, 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a lady in Hallandale. Hello. Lady in Hallandale.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I just called to tell you how much that I enjoy your radio station.
Uh-huh.
Well, my boyfriend, he listens to you all the time. It seems that no matter when I try to turn the channel, it always ends up back to you. So you must be doing something right.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot.
Why do you try to change the channel?
Well, why do I change the channel? Because I'm usually cooking in the kitchen, so I don't have to hear any bitching. Right?
What does that mean?
Well, so see, my boyfriend and I want to ask him to marry me. Would it be a mistake if he could turn off your radio station?
No, I think it would be a mistake if he said he would marry you. I think that would be the mistake, a bad mistake. We have an open line in Dade, all 3 in Broward, 567. And look at that, all 3 in Broward. Like I told you, we're not going to get any calls from Sunrise or on this issue here because there are no people under the age of 100. We have no listeners in Sunrise. But he wants to make Sunrise, the city, beautiful. They're worried about how it looks, about trying to put people out of business there. That's what I'm pissed off about. I don't expect that any of these people are going to be calling in here today. Why the hell should they? They're all over 200 years old. It's a death place. But don't tell that to city manager Pat Solar. In fact, maybe we can make speaking of making a match, marry him off to Sonny Rosenberg from Hallandale. Oh! That sounds like a good match to me. We're talking crazy people is what we're talking about. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
A dingo ate my baby.
Yeah.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay.
The last time I called you, I was on my way to a trip to Italy, and you told me where to go, Florence, Rome, etc. And I had a great time. Spent 2 weeks over there.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to France. And
why?
I know how you feel about it. I've never been there, so I got to check it out. Going to Paris, and depending on how that is, probably leave to the countryside or something.
Uh-huh.
And then we're going to Holland. And I was looking up a hotel. It's called the Winston Hotel. I don't know if you've stayed there. You've heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Okay.
Winston tastes good like a hotel show. Well, have a great time, pal. Okay, and call us on our next travelogue. We have 2 open lines in Dade, 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Lemieux.
Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Hi. Are you there? One moment, please.
Yeah.
Oh, Neil.
Yes. What incredible patience I have, you know?
I'm sorry, Neil. I'm at work right now calling.
Yeah.
First off, on your
Well,
poll.
get your priorities straightened out, okay? We're doing a big
First
big-time
off,
radio show here.
on your poll question, anything's better than Geldie, except for maybe Chris, you know who. Okay. And second thing, I did learn one thing off of your show. I finally learned why in the Senate they even bothered taking votes when the Democrats put in, you know, an amendment or anything that they want passed, but the Republicans never pass it. I finally realized why they even put it to a vote. And that's because they put the motion in the basket. Have a good day, Neil.
Open line in Dade 1 at Broward, 5670560, pound 5. Now, keep in mind, he interrupted his very busy workday over there, whatever he was potchking around with up there in Coral Springs. He interrupted that. I guess they're probably making munitions up there, something like that, to come on the phone and share that with us. Thank you very much, sir. Here's Boca. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is Dick. And the bottom line for all of this stuff is
For all of what stuff?
all the Tyson stuff with that Burt shirt. I'm a boxing fan. I'm ashamed to say, and everybody's out to put a buck in their pocket, including our representatives in Washington. It's all about money. The guy who has all the power is the guy who gets all the money. I listen to your show all the time and I like it. I'm not about to keep it because I don't have any material.
Okay, that's obvious. Okay. Open line at Broward, 5670560 and pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I think this is the week they ran out of material. Every week when I think that maybe they just completely run out, then we have like a little lull for a few days, and then all of a sudden, like, they make a big comeback for like 5 minutes. 6 cases of typhoid reported, by the way. Public health, don't panic, health officials say. How do you like that? In Miami-Dade County, as they call it. Why did they do that? Another example of how stupid it is down here. Miami-Dade County. Does anybody with a brain call it Miami-Dade County?
No.
Of course not. It's Dade County. I don't care what the hell they call it. It's like Chicago, Cook County. Right? Like Detroit, Wayne County. Same kind of thing. Same concept. Stupid. Stupid, idiotic. Now, I read this in both papers this morning, and I'm a little bit confused. I was asking George about it. It's a very delicate subject. It says, typhoid is an infection of the intestines and sometimes the bloodstream caused by salmonella bacteria. How is it spread? By eating food or drinking liquids contaminated by the stool of an infected person. Eating food or drinking liquids contaminated by the stool of an infected person. I don't want to get too graphic about that, but I'm asking myself, how do you eat foods or drink liquids that are contaminated by the of another person? I mean, do we have an epidemic of people in your lunch now? Is that it? In your soda? Oh, sorry. Huh? Seriously, I don't get that. I mean, maybe, is it possible we might have a little bit of a sanitation problem somewhere in Dade County? Not that I want to single out any parts of town. Symptoms, fever as high as 103 or 104 for longer than 2 or 3 days, fatigue, weakness, stomach pains, headache, loss of appetite, flat rose-colored spots on the chest or abdomen, a dry cough, constipation, and rarely diarrhea. If you have the symptoms, see a doctor immediately and then check your, I would redo my diet is what I think I would do. I mean, even after I got cured, if I had typhoid, I would probably rethink what I would be putting in my mouth from here on in. Because, let me say it again, if it's spread by eating food or drinking liquids contaminated by the stool of an infected person. Now, maybe they're not talking about that kind of stool. Maybe they're talking about like the one you sit on like in a bar. Huh? Because there's the old thing about, picking up germs on a toilet seat. And we have these people, if that doesn't bug the hell out of me. You go into a public toilet and there's some jackass has taken a whole bunch of either toilet paper or tissue and put it on the seat because he's so paranoid. And then instead of like throwing it down there before he flushes and getting rid of it, he leaves it there. Right? Do you want to have to potchkey around with somebody's tissue that he stuck on his seat, especially after he picks his rectum off it and doodles on out of there? No.
Hey, asshole.
It puts the lotion in the basket. It mixes it all up. It puts the lotion in the basket. It puts them both together. It puts the lotion in the basket. When the eyeball falls out, it puts the lotion in the basket. Then it has to hose it down. It puts the lotion in the basket. It's what I have to get. It puts the lotion in the basket. I need to rub it on my breast. It puts the lotion in the basket. I have to dry clean my skin suit. It puts the lotion in the basket. I said, Doctor, I switch my BB in my legs. I said, Doctor, I like to dance around his waist. Mommy, are the lambs quiet today? I said, Mommy, I want to look more like a woman. My name is Buffalo Bill. It puts the lotion in the basket. It makes it for my skin. It puts the lotion in the basket. I hold my pee-pee in. It puts the lotion in the basket. How much does it cost? It puts the lotion in the basket. I got my skin suit nipple necklace.
11:15 at 560 WQAM. I don't want to get too graphic with this typhoid thing, but let me just read one paragraph that I find a little bit disconcerting about, and maybe one of the reasons that a lot of us don't live in Dade. A disease more commonly seen in developing nations. Isn't that a great term? In other words, in scumbag places. Typhoid, most often spread through food or liquids contaminated with bacteria, sickens about 10 people a year in Dade County, with many of its victims having brought the bug back as a souvenir from globe trotting, as if maybe they got the trots. However, none of the people stricken with the illness in the past month had been out of the country recently. So if they hadn't been out of the country recently in these third world nations, then they must have gotten it right here. Right in Miami-Dade County. Speaking of third world nations. Wow. In a banana boat, there are only 6 cases so far. And they say, don't panic. But you better watch what kind of you're reading these days, okay? Eat only good. Here's North Miami Beach. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil, I saw Al Rantel for the first time in my life last night on Court TV.
How depressing.
He looks exactly like Pinocchio.
Yeah.
With all the makeup he had on.
What was Alice doing on air?
Well, Alice and a couple of lady television correspondents, talk show hosts, were talking with Johnny Cochran about this, that, and the other concerning the court proceedings against the president. And
Johnny Cochran? What has he got to do with this?
He has a show on Court TV.
I know that, yeah. How sad. I thought he was busy worrying about, what's his name now, about Tony Martin.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But anyhow,
Alice wouldn't know who that is.
I just wanted to throw something out for you. He's using all of your colloquialisms, all of your Yiddish and your thimble with the Chinese arm.
Alice Quarantello is still even out there in L.A. using all of my shtick.
I don't know. Were you aware that he was using her shtick?
Where do you think he started? Who do you think unfortunately put him on the air at W. Snoop? Talked to Casper into putting him on the air 20 years ago.
I know that. I've been listening to both of you for that period of time.
Right.
But anyhow, it sounded really strange coming out of his mouth.
Coming out of a little wop like him saying Yiddish, especially on Court TV, they were probably going, boy! Well, thanks for the good news, sir.
All right.
And give your best to Alice. Oh, God. Tutti Frutti Alice is at it again. We have an open line in Dade, 5670560, pound 560. All the great talent that's come out of this market over the years, huh? Oh, yeah. All the great, big, gigantic talent like Phil Henry and huh? I'm talking about, around the rest of the country now. Phil Henry. And here's a mobile in Sunrise. Hello.
Did you mention Phil Henry?
Oh, yeah, Phil Henry.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Are you sure? Positive.
Listen, I'm a board member of the Sunrise Chamber of Commerce. We had a meeting last night. I can't go into the details of that meeting. However, this thing about 4-inch signs,
yeah.
Each owner of the business in Sunrise was mailed in their water bill a little notification.
Oh, yeah, it says that in the story, but of course nobody in their right mind reads the crap that's sent in with your water bill. They hide it in there knowing that nobody's going to read it.
Right, they toss it. Then they notify people of the meetings, the commission meetings,
Of course, nobody's going to go to that either.
Right.
So now...
Well, yeah, they advertised it in the newspaper, which, of course, nobody would read those notices either.
Nobody cares about that. They sent out letters to each business owner.
Right.
And they tossed them, too. So now they're scrambling, figuring out that they're going to have to find just about every business in Sunrise on University Drive. So they're going to have to come up with something else. But it's great publicity for each business. If I was the business owner and somebody came to my door and said, you got to change your sign, I'd be on the phone with the Herald and everybody else.
Right.
So, causing yourself
well, I say that everybody in Sunrise ought to go over and patronize the what is this? It's a dry cleaning place. Patronize One Price Cleaners, 8925 West Oakland Park Boulevard.
There you go. That's how you start it up. This guy's going to get more publicity. It's going to be worth that fine that he's going to get every day, and they're not going to find him at the end anyway.
Okay, great.
People need to complain to go to the meeting this time and let everybody know that.
Yeah, well, you know where Pat Salerno got that 4 inches, don't you? Have a great day, pal.
He was down.
Good luck. Yeah, he didn't want any signs bigger than his. So anyway, Damaris, whatever your name is, sweetheart, we're on your side. She looks like a nice, upstanding lady who never stole a freight train. Dry cleaning, men's work, shirts, laundry. In fact, I'll tell you what, everybody in Sunrise that wants a free plug on this show, just drop me a note or a fax or a letter or something. Anybody that's got neon, I love neon signs. Anybody that doesn't like neon signs is a moron. I'm not talking about, big, glitzy like Las Vegas that are going to be garish. I mean, in Vegas, you like that because it's part of the ambiance there. I can understand that. Although, quite frankly, not really. I like big, garish neon signs. What's wrong with that?
F&A.
Especially in a dumpy place like Sunrise with all the dead people. How about the neon signs in Sunrise Lake? Oh! Yeah. Those old farts never even notice them. They're all walking around with their, dark sunglasses on, driving their big Continentals and the Cadillacs, their big Jew canoes, all over Sunrise Lakes Boulevard, hitting everything in sight. Let's patronize One Price Cleaners, 8925 West Oakland Park Boulevard. Go in there and say, hey, we love you, Damaris. We're on your side. And say just F&A to you. And especially just say the F part to Pat Salerno, the city manager in Sunrise. A jackass. An idiot. 2 open lines in Dade, 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Sunrise again. Hello.
How are you?
Okay.
I'm alive in Sunrise, and I agree with everything you're saying.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I live off of Sunrise, off of University Drive.
Oh.
It's easy for me to get to work. I live off. 2 of the places I work are off Sunrise or University Drive, and one of them I can walk to. The third one I can walk to. The thing is, if every merchant in Sunrise refuses to pay the fine or refuses to take down their sign, what are they going to do? And then look at all the revenue they're going to lose from licenses and taxes. If all these guys leave Sunrise, they're shooting themselves in the foot. If they all come together and refuse to do anything and leave everything the way it is, what's Sunrise going to do? They're going to kick everybody out? What are they going to do about the Sawgrass Mall? There's no neon in the Sawgrass Mall.
There's tons of neon in the Sawgrass Mall.
Absolutely. And there's going to be more when they open that new section.
Yeah.
Walgreens, right on Sunset Strip and University, has a little sign in the window that says open 24 hours. Take that down. See if Walgreens complains about that.
Oh,
Walgreens, they're sprouting up like mushrooms.
Right. Every street corner, there's a Walgreens or an Eckerd's or both.
Right. And you don't think they're big enough to exercise a little influence on the town?
And they'll tell Pat Salerno to stick it.
Absolutely. And they should.
Right.
Twice. That's my opinion.
Okay. Good luck, sir. There you go. He lives in Sunrise, which we apologized to him for that, by the way. I'm sorry. Because once you get, there's that demarcation line. I've told you this many times before. You get, as you're going north on University, you get to Sunrise Boulevard. And once you get north of Sunrise Boulevard, the average age increases triple. The average age goes from like 40 to 120. Immediately, as soon as you hit that spot, there's that Fuddruckers on one side and a gas station on the other side. And as soon as you get north of that intersection at Sunrise and University, you can hear just reverberating all, just roll down your window. You'll hear it. You can smell it. 2 open lines in Dade, 5670560 and pound 560 on the AT&T line. Mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was in Fort Lauderdale, Broward County, but I'm all the way out here in Plantation, Broward now. Why don't they just call it Banana Boat County down there? I mean, that's 2 words. Should satisfy them. I had a statement regarding your gambling situation. You talk about Ed Kaplan a lot.
Yeah.
Like a gambling show. And,
no, it's not like a gambling show. It is a gambling show. It's not like a gambling show. It is strictly, positively, only a gambling show. If you happen to be a fan who's interested in the scores, doesn't have a bet on it, you'll still find the scores out, but that's not what it's intended for.
Yeah, I have my $5-10 bets. That's my idea of gambling. I'll stay small time like that. But one thing I was wondering is, what about all the stocks you have? All that is legalized gambling.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more, but like you said, legalized gambling. Legalized.
Right. Well, in Nevada, it's legal also.
But we're not in Nevada.
Okay, so it's bugging.
And I guarantee you that the overwhelming majority of people who listen to the station for odds aren't making their bets on those cruise ships that go 3 miles outside the limit and bet Listen, I'm not a goody two-shoes. I'm all for gambling. I love gambling. It's a good time, okay? But to go on the air and have gambling shows promoting illegal gambling, it's like the newspapers putting the odds on and then slapping us in the face and telling us, oh, well, most of the people who are sports fans and don't even bet, they care about the point spread. I mean, that's the dumbest, the most stupid, idiotic thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Nobody who's a sports fan stays up until 2:30 in the morning to find out if Philadelphia beat Anaheim last night. They, get up the next morning, they turn on their sports channel or CNN or ESPN, and they see the score.
Unfortunately, I think there might be a few people like that, and that's the sad thing. And you're right, that does.
There might be a few people like that?
Yeah.
There are zillions of people like that. If there weren't zillions of people like that, this radio station would have been off the air a long time ago. We've been playing Hungarian mazurkas the rest of the day.
All right, let's talk about something else. College sports. Okay, you always talk about, if you're a fan of college.
Why do I want to talk about college sports?
Because you say it's for immature people.
It's for the student body who go to that particular college or a competing school, or it's for alumni to have a passing interest in. But people who are like obsessed with it, who are like adults, yes, they have no life. They're juvenile.
But I mean, the reason why I like college football much better than pro football is I watch these younger people out there playing their hearts out, and instead of being contaminated by these millions of dollars,
right,
like hockey.
That's why they leave at the at the end of their second or third year, and they go to the draft. They're like Edgerrin James. That's right, because you're going to make a lot of money. They're not contaminated by this, sir. You're living in a self-delusionary state, right? College athletes, they don't get tainted by right. Okay, we have 2 open lines in Broward, 1 in Dade. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line.
Florida's pot's not good, it's great.
Love, love, love. Love in a doggy style. When I'm doing it from behind you. Love in a doggy style. A backseat view. Will you bark like a dog, my love? Just like a dog. Then I will ask you to bend over. I want you on all fours tonight, my love. Come on all fours. I do not want to see your smile, because I'm loving a doggy style. When I'm doing it from behind you. Loving a doggy style, a backseat view.
131 at 560 WQAM. How do you think, how many college athletes do you think would be playing whatever sport they're playing if they didn't want to be corrupted by the big money of professional sports? Do you think there'd be any?
No.
3 or 4? So anyway, somebody faxed, I almost forgot about this. This is too good to let slide, so to speak. Somebody faxed me a great bit. This is from a morning show on WBAM FM in Chicago where they play a game called Mate Match. And what they do is the DJ on the air, he opens up the phone line and some jackass calls in and he asks them when the last time was they had sex with their wife or girlfriend or whatever, and then they call up the wife or girl. It's like the dating game, the match, whatever they call that, dating game. So anyway, a guy named Brian calls in and they ask him the whole song and the dance about when the last time he had with his wife, whose name is Sarah. And he says 8 o'clock this morning, and her mother was visiting, but she was in the shower, and they had sex 8 o'clock this morning. How long did it last? About 10 minutes. And he says, okay, the last question, and the winner, if you win the contest, if she matches his answers, you get a all-expense-paid trip for 2 to Disney World. So, okay, where did you have this sex this morning? On the kitchen table is Brian's answer, okay? Now the DJ calls up Sarah, gets her on the phone. Tells her what it's all about, going to win a trip for 2 to Disney World, all expenses paid if you match Brian's answers. And the DJ says, all right, when did you have sex last, Sarah? Sarah says, oh, God, Brian, this morning before Brian went to work. DJ says, what time? Sarah says, about 8 o'clock, I think. Sound effect, ding, 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 you're right. DJ, very good. Next question, how long did it last? Sarah, 12, 15 minutes. DJ, that's close enough. We'll give it to you. Next question, the last question. This is the third and deciding question if they're going to win the trip to Disney World. Where did you do it? Sarah yells out, oh, my God, Brian, you didn't tell him that, did you? Brian says, just tell him, honey. DJ, what's bothering you so much, Sarah? Sarah says, well, it's just that my mom is vacationing with us and she saw? Sarah says, Brian, no, I didn't think she saw. Okay, ease up there, sister, just messing around with your head. Your answer? Dear Lord, I can't believe you told him this. Come on, honey, it's for a trip to Florida. Let's go. We haven't got all day. Where did you do it? Sarah's answer. Keep in mind, Brian's answer was on the kitchen table. Sarah's answer, in the ass.
Oh!
And guess what? They got the trip.
Oh!
Let's hear it for Sarah and Brian, okay? Well, I thought that was appropriate after Love Doogie style. That was nice going there, Sarah. Well, at least you gave him an honest answer.
Wrecked him.
Damn near killed him. Here's a mobile implantation. Hello.
Neil,
Yes, sir.
how you doing?
Great.
Good. I'm a fellow Plantation Acres resident.
Yes, sir. We're pretty close to sunrise. I hope it don't seep over to us.
Yeah, they're contagious, I think. Hey, I had a shameless request because I have some friends in from out of town, family. If you could play Dickens Ciders for me,
Okay.
I'd really appreciate it.
I will do it, sir. You got it.
Thanks, Neil.
See you in sunrise.
See ya.
Okay. Watch out for Neon Dion. He's going to be hanging out. I guess they could kick his ass out of there, too, if he ever comes back. Neon Dion. There's another great role model for you. We have an open line at Dade, 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. We got Hank Goldberg at 2. I guess upstairs in the studio today without no TV set, without no direct TV. And then we got 6 o'clock tonight because Boog worked this morning. We got Josh and Jason going to be doing Kitty Sports Talk from 6 to 7. 7 o'clock we got the pregame Panthers at Ottawa tonight. A gigantic game, a humongous game. Panthers at Ottawa. You'll hear it tonight or just watch it on TV. Here's Sunrise. Hello. Sunrise.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Mike. I'm the owner of Coin Traders Incorporated on University Drive.
Yes, sir.
And I got a message for Pat Salerno and his little Nazi cohorts.
Yes?
We're not taking our signs down.
All right. Nice going, Mike.
They can sue us. They can close us down. Whatever. We'll battle it in court.
Sir, we're on your side on issue. I'll tell you that. But we will join in, fight, scream, holler, yell, do anything. We'll have voodoo dolls of Pat Salerno distributed.
Well, the reason we moved to Sunrise 7 years ago was the fact that we could put signs in the window because we were initially looking at Coral Springs, and they wouldn't allow us, so we opened our business in Sunrise. We've been here for 7 years. This is the same city that forces us to buy 2 occupational licenses every year for the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just not going to do it. They can, I don't have neon, but I do have a professionally stenciled window.
Right.
And, with the elderly people, especially in my business, because most of our businesses with elderly people,
right.
They can't see the store signs.
That's right. You got to have big, big signs. That's right. Good point.
And, we've been servicing the community for 7 years, paying taxes, and we're not going to be forced to change our ways.
Excellent.
And if they want to close us down, they can close us down, and we'll fight it in court.
Okay. Good luck, Mike.
Okay. Thanks, Neil.
See ya. How do you like that? We're doing it, baby.
Oh!
Fighting the fascists up there in Sunrise.
It's a lie. I am not a Nazi.
Yeah, likely story, Pat Salerno, you and your cohorts. Shame on you. Oh, the signs can't be bigger than 4 inches, the letters, yeah. And this guy makes a good point. Those old people in the Sunrise, it's got to be a lot bigger than 4 inches for them to see it. I was taking a leak at Pompano Park last week, and there was an old codger at the urinal next to me. And I said, you see this? And he said,
no.
Under 4 inches. We have an open line in Dade, 1 in Broward, 567-0560 and pound 560 on the 18. Well, it was a little survey I was doing because I knew, being psychic, I knew we were going to be deeply into this. Here's Miami Beach. Hello.
Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
Just a quick thought why the universe revolves around you. You know this big sex survey that came out yesterday?
Yeah.
They
I
said
got no response on it all, by the way, none.
They said something that you've been saying forever. The American people are like 13-year-olds. All they ever do is think about sex, but they never talk about it because they're afraid to. Just like a 13-year-old kid, we would find out so much more about our sex lives if we were just a little bit more open and outgoing.
Because they've been brought up with these puritanical ideas and this business of it's dirty. Everything sexual, everything about the genitalia, it's dirty. Sex is dirty. Your penis is dirty. Your vagina is dirty. I mean, this is crap.
It's total crap.
It's embarrassing.
All right, I got to change gears real quick. I know you're a big hockey fan. You grew up with the Maple Leafs.
Yes, sir.
I am peeing my pants right now reading about Harold Ballard. They have the 10 most infamous moments in Maple Leaf Garden history.
Right.
Do you know he asked Roger Nielsen to stick a paper bag on his head because he had fired him during midseason, didn't have a guy to replace him, and he said, Roger, listen, you got to help me out. You got to come back. He said, He says, do me a favor, put the paper bag on because everybody they want to know who the new head coach is, and then you'll take the bag off. Roger said,
That's Harold Ballard. And you know something, in Roger's case, he would have looked better. It would have been a big improvement.
Because, he's a real ladies' man, I understand.
Harold was?
No, Neil.
Roger Neil. That's what I'm reading, yeah.
When I heard that, let me tell you something. When Rimmer said that, I fell out of my chair.
Was that incredible?
Unbelievable. Listen, last thing. What is the
Harold
gondola?
Ballard was a real ladies' man, by the way. Not anymore. Not too good now.
And I'll tell you something. Hockey has more history than baseball, basketball, and football put together.
That's why I was so excited to find a Leafs game on last night on the small dish, because they had even after the game was over, they had another half hour with all the stuff. In fact, tonight, if you got the big dish, anybody, 7 o'clock on CBC, special on the last game in Maple Leaf Gardens coming up Saturday.
It says here that he took the gondola and dismantled it and threw it in a trash bin, basically. He had it burnt.
I believe it.
And that Foster Hewitt was so outraged that he called Clarence Campbell to say, you got to tell this guy to stop it. They even think that the banners that were hanging up in the rafters that he gave to painters to use as drop cloths so they can paint over them.
Yeah.
That's a freak. Got a freak.
Okay.
Thanks, Bill.
Have a great day. We have an open line at date, 567. See, you watched that game last night. Here's Maple Leaf Gardens, which still looks pretty good after all these 68 years, and it's got all that class and all that character and that history. And then you go to the Mac Arena, which is brand new and shiny and all the problems that we've talked about that nobody cares about. And I'm thinking this last night. Nobody there, if that place is there for 100 years, it will never, ever have any character, any class, any atmosphere. That's all history. That's all history because they've taken it away from the people. They've destroyed that. There's not even the ability for it to create that because there's different people in there all the time. Because it's a big, expensive corporate. And by the way, that's interesting. How about inside the Mac Arena? How about on the windows there? How about all the big neon signs they got where they're selling all that paraphernalia? Huge neon signs, huh? You think Wayne's going to sit still for that?
No.
Don't take any bullshit from him.
Howdy! Hi, I'm Spike, and when I'm driving down Route 9W on a hot summer day, me and the missus always stop at Dickens Fruit Stand. They've got everything from fruit to vegetables, homemade pies, but there is nothing like their cider. Ain't that right, honey? Uh-huh. Dickens cider. Yes, sirree. Why, even though we were late for church last Sunday, she had to have a little Dickens cider. Uh-huh. She says there ain't nothing like it. Even my minister says his wife enjoys a little Dickens cider now and then. Hey, why don't you bring some home in our protective plastic ribbed bottle? That way it'll stay fresh. Or you can let it sit a while and have some hard Dickens cider. It's good at lunch, good at dinner, and there's nothing like waking up with a Dickens cider. Dickens Fruit Stand, just off Route 9W and Country Road 69. Open 24 hours, because after a chilly summer night, I like to snuggle up in bed with a hot Dickens cider.
It's 11:46 at 560 WQAM. At the risk of repeating something I said yesterday, but I'll do it anyway. I mean, anyone who saw this story, because I've got it in my hand in the story too, this Falwell story with this Teletubby, because it's got a picture of Tinky Winky. The Reverend Jerry Falwell says Teletubby Tinky Winky is a gay role model. Anybody who would see that somebody, a public figure, would make this statement for public consumption or would endorse a statement written in his newspaper, his National Liberty Journal, and then defend it, would say, time for the rubber coats. Time for the white guys, like the white guys, or the dark guys. Usually it's dark guys, like in Cuckoo's Nest. Remember that? Why is that? Let's have big black guys there to, restrain all those out-of-control white folks. Here's Aventura. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
No big black guy.
Yeah, okay. Okay, whatever you say, okay, with your phony accent. How long do you work on that? Open line at Dade 1 in Broward, 567. There's so many pathetic, sad people out there. Thank God we've got these shows to give them an outlet. I'm serious. We're doing a tremendous public service. You don't realize. You don't even scratch the surface of it. What an enormous pubic service we do for these bastards. Pathetic no-lives, low-lives, who wait for an eternity, who just sit there holding it, and then they're on for like 3 seconds, and that's their 3 seconds of fame. Well, I sure got him. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, sure got me. Boy, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to come back in here tomorrow. I'll give it a shot. Open line in Broward, 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Sure told him a thing or two. Here's Lauderhill. Hello.
Sunrise hopes to blow away all the old people with crime there by giving them whistles.
Okay, like I said, 2 open line. You couldn't even hear him. That was the best part. He's doing his shtick, and you can't even hear it. And he's in Lauderhill, like he's got some claim to fame. 5670560, pound 560, although it's nice to know that there's one white guy in Lauderhill. That's good. Just to be a token, I guess. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I am.
Neil, how are you?
Okay.
Why don't you talk about some hot, steamy topics like, some sex or some,
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about this? I mean,
what do you want to talk about, sir? Obviously, again, you're another one of these people that I've been talking about for 2 days now who listens to the show, but for whatever reason we haven't figured out yet. But you're not happy. You're not happy with what we're talking about. You don't like the show. What would you like to talk about, sir?
You talk about politics. You talk about sports. Why don't you talk about some hot, steamy
Like
topics?
what? Like what would you like to talk about?
Like sometime back a month ago, you were talking about, sex habits of Hispanics or Spics. Why don't you talk
about what?
About sex.
Sex what?
Sex topics about sex.
Such as what? Are you undersexed? You're not getting any? Is that the problem? You turn on your radio to hear about sex?
No, I mean, that's not the case. I just want to make your show a little bit more interesting.
Oh, you want? Well, guess what? Here's a way to do it. Don't ever call it again. That's the way to do it. Laundry head. We have an open line in Dade, 5670560 and pound 560. He wanted to make it a little more interesting. Did he do it?
No.
Terminal. In fact, I'm going to tell you, the guy that was making guttural sounds from Lauderhill, he was great compared to your call. Right?
Oh!
Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Neil.
Like we need help. Like I said, like all of a sudden this week I've sent a search party out to find help because we're dying over here. They had a ratings party for this station based on my ratings, and I need help from this laundry head. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, hi, Neil. I'm in Coral Springs. I'm a long-time listener. I listen to you at home, and I was a fan of your TV show, too. I'm sorry to take it off the air.
History. You can say cottage for that.
Yeah, I'm just calling about the Sunrise issue. My partner just called in. I have a store in Sunrise called Coin Traders, and
wait a minute, he just called in.
Yeah, I'm calling. I heard him on the air, and
Yeah.
I just wanted to reemphasize. I think it's a joke. It's a scam that they're pulling this. If people want to live in a city like Coral Springs and make it that way, why don't they just move to Coral Springs? I mean, why are they trying to turn a very average city like Sunrise into something that it's not?
Average city would be a major compliment, I would think. Sunrise is a geriatric paradise. It's like an outdoor funeral parlor.
I agree with you. I just have one thing to say about Pat Salerno. In the words of the Hammer, you're a jagoff.
He's an asshole. Okay, thank you. Okay, that's the last call for Coin Traders, by the way. Okay, like I said, they're teaming up just a little bit. But like I said, free plugs for anybody in Sunrise that's got your neon signs and your other signs that they're pissed off about, because I'm pissed off. Even though I don't live in Sunrise, I'm pretty damn close. Open line in Dade 1 in Broward, 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Hialeah. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
This is outrageous about Jerry Falwell talking about Tinky Winky and all this crap.
Yeah.
I believe, if you remember about 2 years ago, he was talking about the same thing about Barney. He was saying that Barney was a representation of the devil, and he was supposed to be representing some type
I thought the devil was red. I didn't think he was purple. I thought
purple
it was cardinal red.
Yeah, with a big tail.
I thought it was beet red.
This is outrageous. I believe that it's gotten to the point that he's saying that it's sending innuendos to 2- and 3-year-olds.
Yeah.
This is outrageous.
I mean, I'm 56 years old and a fag, and I didn't realize that a purple triangle had anything to do with being a fag.
Of course. What does the purple have to do with anything? I thought purple was for royalty.
Yeah.
And now purple is automatically.
Wait till he hears that record by Sheb Woolley, that Purple People Eater, man. That's going to put him right over the edge. That's when they're going to come with the butterfly net. Have a great day, sir. God bless you. We have an open line in Dade. Yeah, I didn't know nothing about no purple triangles, huh? Purple is the color of the fag. It's the homosexual agenda. It's a purple thing, okay? Just pound it till it's purple, baby. You know, and you notice how his nose keeps getting, just like Bubba was doing back on August 17th, his nose keeps getting bigger and longer and bigger and bigger. They're having another grab-ass meeting here next door in Lee Cutler's office, I think. That's getting a little bit louder and a little bit louder. Wouldn't you think now that everybody else is gone, basically, from down here? Wouldn't you think that they'd find like someplace, like I said weeks ago, Kid Curry's office, way down the end of the hall. We can't hear nothing that's going on in there.
Because he's not in there anymore.
No, you're missing my point. I'm saying, why can't they go down there, take their wares down there?
Move the desks, move furniture?
No, maybe move some chairs would be all right. Don't have to actually move. Now, are they, see, that's another thing I'm trying to figure out. Are they actually constructing new offices for them upstairs? They must be, because obviously the whole concept of this is knowing what a cheap-ass company this is. They certainly don't want to pay any longer than they have to for the office space down here on the second floor, so we'll be up there in no time in our marginal new studios. Oh, and by the way, Refrigerator Bob was here yesterday, was astonished at how small these rooms are. Couldn't believe it.
It's going to get smaller. Because
on TV, I mean, that visual, TV always plays tricks with you. That TV is nothing but a visual trick anyway. Because it made it look bigger and palatial and what have you. And he looked in here at the marginal equipment and the size of these two rooms, and he said,
"Oh my God!
Wow, can't get over it." Yeah, they're getting a little loud back there in that room next door. We have an open line in Dade, 56705. Now, see, they shut up real quick when I do that. But why are they in there? Papa, don't they? How many times do you repeat the same stupid thing over and over again? The walls here are like paper mache. They're paper thin. They're like onion skin, like foreskin, that thin. And so if they want to hold their meat, let them hold it down the hallway. Out there in that middle room there where there's nothing in there but a bunch of old douche, whatever that crap is in there. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Wouldn't it be nice to have Purple Rain for Jerry Falwell's on?
Oh, my, Purple Rain.
Oh, my God.
Jesus Christ.
That guy, by the way, was absolutely right about Barney. I had forgotten about that. What is it with this guy?
He's crazier than a bedbug, and the people who are his disciples are crazier than a bedbug.
Well,
it's like that hocus pocus, old black magic, and those are the people that give him their money.
The reason I called, let us not forget, this is the same guy that condemned Orlando to fire and brimstone a couple of years back. Remember, you said Orlando was going to be destroyed by floods and tornadoes because it's sin.
No, that was Pat Robertson.
I thought this was Falwell that did this.
No, that was Pat Robertson, another crazy bastard.
Oh God, they're the brothers in arms.
And I hope they don't start picking on Orlando.
Oh God, I've got a 4-year-old boy. He could care less from Teletubbies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if he comes home and starts carrying a little purple purse, then I'd say
he prefers Barbies.
Okay.
Yeah.
See. We have an open line of date. Okay, everybody's a faggot, okay, just for the benefit of Jerry Falwell. We're all faggots. George is a faggot. I'm a faggot. Greg Reed is a faggot. Everybody in the world is a faggot, okay, except Jerry Falwell. And who the hell would want to touch him anyway? Maniacs. We're talking crazy, crazy people, just like this Y2K thing. It's a good thing these things are all coming up in the same week. They're all popping up the same week. Oh, the end times are coming. We better go out there and stock up on our toilet paper and our bottled water and our canned goods, even though it's only February the 11th. Just once in my life, I'd like to spend like about 6 months in a place with sane people, which means definitely not in this country. See, I really blew it when I had that opportunity, my 7 months paid vacation. If I would have been smart, not dumb, if I would have been smart, I would have made arrangements, people like, forward me my bills, taking my checking account, forward me the checks, and just not come back here at all for those 7 months. And if my mother would have had a problem with that, taking care of the dogs for that long a period of time, well, those two words keep coming back in. Nursing home keep popping into my mind. Oh, I don't know what it is. I wake up 3 a.m. in bed and I look around, those two words keep coming back. Nursing home.
I want to bang you in the butt, honey.
Only white guys follow my career. Only white guys open up their ears. I'm screaming and wearing bad spandex suits. And it's only white guys thinking that's still cool. Only white guys go to my concerts. Only white guys wearing my t-shirt. Only white guys think I'm a pervert. White boys really like my curls. Everyone else thinks I look like a girl. I got kicks out of Van Halen, and you'll never hear me in Boys to Men. Oh my God, feel by my TV. It's kind of crazy. No one with that.
Promo 2 at 560 WQAM. And I'm I want to give a very strong apology to all our right-wing friends out there. My sympathy, not an apology, but my deepest sympathies. Because what are they going to do now? Like after 5 o'clock this afternoon, or if it happens tomorrow morning, and they take the vote, which we already know is going to be probably on both counts, both allegations.
No.
Then what are they going to do? See, somebody faxes me a note here saying, well, the best way to silence the Falwells and Bakers and these people is for the media to ignore them. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. No, in fact, this should have been on the front page. What incenses me is that it's on the fourth page in a little tiny article. Because they ought to be dragged out of the closet and shown for the assholes that they really are. I mean, we're talking crazy people exploiting other folks because they're terrified of death. Because they're terrified of the goblin, the boogeyman's under the bed. That's right. The devil made you do it. Just like Mike Tyson says, or who? No, Eugene Robinson. I get them all confused, after a while. They all be kind of like blending into each other, so to speak. Eugene, yeah. Well, the devil got in my head. Maybe that's why there was all that pressure in there, huh?
Squirt, squirt.
Here's a mobile in Fort Myers. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes,
Couple
sir.
things about Reverend Jerry. He may, I don't know, but he may have something in mind with this purple triangle thing that he screwed up historically, which is that the same way the Nazis made the Jews wear yellow stars, homosexuals
No, they were gay pink triangles.
pink triangles,
no.
exactly, not purple. So I don't even know if he knows that, but if he does, he's got it wrong.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I just wonder if the word gay would offend him if we were to invite him to Florida so he could gay cocking off in Yum.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And have a great day. Thank you very much. Chuck from the Sub-Center just brought my meatballs and cheese and onions, my Atkins lunch, which I thank him profusely for. Dade County's dead, which we already knew that. Well, they're all running around making sure to check their real because they don't want to get that typhoid. That story is astonishing to me. And again, it's right in the middle. My lunch just showed up here. It would be a bad time to get back into that story again. Oh, great. Man, am I looking forward to this. I like the cold cuts at that chef salad, whatever you called it. That was very good. Oh, I think too many onions yesterday. Too many real hot, spicy onions. Wow.
They were very hot.
Huh?
They were very hot.
Yeah, they were which I love onions. I'm a big onion man, but that was extremely. Okay, open line in Broward and all three in Dade. Are we going to go back to this again today?
Yes.
It looks like it. 567-0560, pound 560 on a mobile one line. As the search for callers continues, the search especially for new callers who might actually have something to say, even if they don't have anything to say. How about a search for new faxers also? I mean, it's just so ponderous. Talk about stale and old, man. That's the deal in this town. Stale and really old. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. The fax number, by the way, if you want to fax us and you're a new faxer, fax us anything, no matter how ridiculous it is. 305-650-0198. Boy, would that be a breath of fresh air instead of these same. I mean, you think that the callers you hear, the repetitive voices, not just on this show, but on all the shows. It's always been that way for years. But the fax machine just spews out the same unending sea of never-ending crap from the same people. The same half dozen people, basically. Here's a mobile in Deerfield. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
Hey, Neil, how do you think the Heat are going to adjust for the injuries to Mashburn?
Let me ask you, why are you asking that? To be a wise guy?
No.
I'm not interested. We don't talk about the Heat on this show.
Is it sports talk?
No, it's not. This is not sports talk. Of course not. It's the Neil Rogers show, which you already knew that. Yeah, right. Likely story. No, I didn't know that. What a jackass. Open line in Broward 2 and Dade, 567. See what I'm saying about these sports callers? I'm serious, man. They're even on our worst days, like yesterday, which was right in the running for all time. On the worst days, there's nothing that we hear that's more pathetic than these sports calls. How do you think? I don't know. Even if I were interested in it, which I'm not, how the hell would I know how they're going to do? What's the point of talking about it? Sit there and grab yourself, okay? Might even feel good. But sure, be more productive. Like the guy that calls before. Do I think the Panthers are going to catch Carolina? How the hell do I know? If I knew that, I'd be on Ed Kaplan's gambling show. I'd be plunging my brains out. Instead of getting all excited because the damn Dow is up 80 points or whatever it is. How's the market doing? Let's call up Rick Riley and see how the market is doing. Dow is up 71. The Nasdaq's up 63. Oh, and that Alan Greenspan with a big nose, he's talking to China. Say something good, Alan. He must have because it's going up for a change. Thank God. Everybody go out and buy stocks, okay? I'll give you a list. I need the money. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Hey, good afternoon, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Jerry Falwell's missing a point. I mean, doesn't he realize he should focus on, like, Barbie and Ken? Those two dolls have been having premarital sex for 20 years.
Yeah, they're doing it, right.
And just so that your lines light up, aren't you giving away, like, 20 free tickets to the next Panthers game?
No.
Have a great day, pal. Okay, good life. Open line in Dade 1 in Broward. Oh, this is good. Mm-hmm. I'm sticking with my meatballs and cheese, you know. Although she sends me about 15 pounds of it. It's great, Niecy. I love you. You're the best. But not quite so heavy next time, okay? Like I said, there's about 30 pounds of it here. 5670560. What? There is. It's heavy enough to kill a horse, this amount here. I mean, killing us with kindness. Don't overdo it, sweetheart, especially in my case. I'm still a little on the porky side. A little bit. Not like Boogster, but a little on the porky side. That's one thing about working in this place I never realized. With all the other problems they got here, makes me feel almost skinny.
Yeah, you're about average.
That's right. In fact, lately I'm like almost under average as far as my rotundity is concerned. Because we got lots and lots. And then when we saw the Beastmeister, what do you call him? The freak? What is his nickname?
The Beast.
The Beast, yeah. The Wildebeest. Man, oh man, he's just a monster in the industry. Where did they find all this fat? And then when they brought Jeff High in here, oh, by the way, there's John Penis. Thanks for the old stale copy, John. This John Penis boy, what a comedian he is. Now, type up some stuff from a year ago and put it on a new sheet with a new date on it. You're not fooling me, John. He's a good guy, but he's a sales hole, so he's full of crap. This is unbelievable. This is old swill. I could recite this verbatim from whatever page you copied it off of. But at least it's only 4 minutes long. Thank you.
I'm sure
Well, stay in school. Don't go out on your own.
Thanks, honey.
'Cause there's a whole lot of stuff you just can't do at home. Search all around, but you won't see a CEO with a GED. Well, nothing compares to the marvelous feeling of making butter patties stick to the ceiling, smoking in the bathroom, making out in the hall, or hitting a fat kid with a speeding dodgeball. Yeah, I remember that. And throw a paper wad with a fire alarm, blow up the toilet with a cherry bomb, dissect a frog in biology class, find yourself a nerd and wedge his ass. Well, you'll be a hit in chemistry when you make a class about your LSD. Start a food fight, you milk out your nose. When you go to school, where anything goes. So stay in school, don't go out on your own. 'Cause there's a whole lot of stuff you just can't do at home. Search all around, but you won't see a CEO with a GED. Search all around, but you won't see a CEO with a GED.
12:15 at 560 WQAM. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's only me and George, because George is the anti-sports guy anyway. He doesn't like sports. Hates sports.
Watching.
I understand, okay? That's what we're talking about. But I've all my life been a pretty big sports fan. But the dialogue, and I use that term loosely, the dialogue that I hear, these stupid, repetitive calls over and over again from the same 150 or 200 people. Well, what are your thoughts on, what do you think Pat Riley can do with that hair problem? What do you think Jimmy really is thinking about? Very, very sad. It's enough to make me cry. It really is. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Don't you think that every truck bigger than a pickup truck should have one of these "How's my driving" signs on the back? Because I'll tell you, I was headed southbound on 95 this morning, and it was pouring rain. I couldn't see a darn thing. I was doing 55, and this big old truck passes me about 80 miles an hour, and it just about wiped me out.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there ought to be a law against that. That's one thing. Another thing is it true that your little Doberman Pinscher is going to run for president?
Is it true that he's what?
He's going to run for president with the...
Okay, we have an open line in Dade 1 in Broward, 5670560 and pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's Miami Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How you doing?
Okay, sir.
I was reading an article a couple months ago about North Miami ordinances, and it was about a Dairy Queen, and I passed this Dairy Queen on my way to FIU over there. FIU
I know
North.
a few Dairy Queens.
What's that?
Yeah.
No, I'm not a queen. I'm a king. Hey, but anyways, they were saying how you need to that they wanted him to take down that cone, and he was just saying, well, look, I know it's a Dairy Queen and people think I'm a national chain, but I own this store, you know. It's a franchise store, you know. And he said, I'm gonna lose my shirt. He said, and I mean, he was he went over like how, and you really can't see it unless it had that cone out in front of it. And he said they had to take down the cone because you can't have a sign over, I think it was like 3 feet or something. And I thought it was.
Next, I'll be trying to make him get rid of the cone at Pizza Loft.
Well, I thought it was absolutely ridiculous because it would blend right. You couldn't see this place. And,
Sure,
you know,
let me just tell you this. All of this crap. I mean, I can understand if somebody wants to put up some grotesque monstrosity, especially in a residential neighborhood. But why should anybody care? As long as the things are attractive, as long as they look neat, as long as they're interesting, what difference does it make?
I agree, and it's not like he's not.
Like I've told you a million times before, this is the land of people who have nothing else to do, so they have to run around trying to make everybody's life as miserable as possible, trying to impress us with what big shots they are.
Well, I agree. It's not like he has some naked picture out there saying, "Oh, we sell smut here," and I mean,
Damn
even
it.
that I don't care anyway.
Right.
You know, but they should be able to do what they want. But he got an ice cream cone, and they're like, "Well, it's over 3 feet." He said, "That's how people know that we're here," and I agree, and I just don't think it's fair. Neil, one other thing.
Yes, sir.
Shameless request.
I'm listening.
All right, what is it? 560 WQAM School of Broadcasting.
I'll work on it.
All right, thanks.
Have a great day.
Bye.
I'll think about it. That's our other poll question today, by the way. Which comedy bits has the audience destroyed by requesting them over and over? Like Ganja Be Good, for example. And like Jack in the Box. And The Bridge Tender. And Young Neil. And Rasta Jew.
Dwayne Stomp.
Oh, well, that's ancient. They even forgot about that. We're going to make a list and check it 400 or 500 times to see who's been naughty and nice because, a lot of these things are very, very funny, but some of these, well, my in-laws are in town and they did, well, good. Have a great time, okay? Open line at Dade, 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Here's Miami. Hello. Miami.
Long time, first time.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I want to comment about the show here. Tuesday I was listening, you had George on, correct?
For a half an hour, yeah.
What's up with that?
What's up with what?
The guy needs work. How long has he been with you?
What does that mean?
The guy does not know how to do a show.
Yeah.
And
That's your opinion. Everybody
he's
else,
working with you.
95% of the other people seem to be. I heard most of it going to the doctor. I thought he did just fine. Didn't bother me.
Oh, it sound like the Smothers Brothers.
Meaning what?
Boring.
So in other words, there was a half an hour that George did of the show, okay, that you didn't like.
I had to turn a dial.
Yeah, and what about it?
That's just, I think, it's awful.
No, sir, let me say it to you again. If you had to turn the dial and you did something else for 25 minutes or whatever it actually was, if you took the spots out for like 20 minutes, what difference does it make? Is that going to disturb me?
Disturb my day.
It disturbed your day. Well, all right, let's hear it for George. Asshole. What a jackass. See, this is what we got out there. You
Chronic
disturbed his day that he had to turn the dial.
He's chronic, too.
No, he's I wouldn't even dignify him by calling him a chronic. He's just,
he's an asshole.
Exactly. Just your ordinary pedestrian asshole. Not clever, not creative, not amusing, not interesting. Boring. You're boring, sir. And the only sad part about the thing because I heard it going to the doctor, is that George was talking about the thing with the swing clubs up there in Broward. Nobody would talk to him about that either. He had maybe one call about that?
Nobody on the air, sure.
Yeah.
Got all those calls off the air because they didn't want to hear their
No, but I mean, just in general, you see, all the people that sit out there, all you phonies, just like with this penis skate thing, when are you going to stop with this baloney already? Passing judgment on everybody. I can just hear it now. Oh, well, those couples that are going up there and those swing clubs, they're a bunch of perverts. Why? Nobody's forcing them. Nobody's dragging anybody in off the street. If that's their thing, if that's their bag, what the hell difference does it make? They're all adults. They're paying to go in there. Why should the government or any other grandstander be concerned about what the hell they're doing in there? Like Ken Jenney, who's a major, major piece of crap. Here's a mobile in the Gables. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil, how you doing today?
Okay.
Neil, the city of Sunrise
Sucks.
It's funny. You know, they're terrible. You know, you got to. The amount of corruption that they participated in the.
How's Giacomello doing, by the way?
Yeah, I know. When they built Sawgrass Mall, it appalled the people. And the other thing is, can you imagine trying to start America today with the rules that we have? Everybody walking around looking, say, what the hell happened to Paul Revere?
Right, that's right.
Well, they didn't get a permit last night.
His horse probably was dropping two big bombs on the cobblestone.
Yeah, I mean, it gets to a point where it's absolutely ridiculous anymore. And finally, Neil, I don't know what's in the air, but some of these callers, I don't envy you in your position.
Have a great day, sir.
Same to you.
The remuneration is well worth it. We have an open line at Dade 1 in Broward, 5670560. See, like for that other asshole, and of course that was all contrived anyway. But like I've always told you, if you don't like this show, don't call me to tell me about it. Just find something else to do. If you don't like when George fills in, fine. When he fills in, like when I go on vacation very soon, then find something else to do. Doesn't terrify me in the least bit. I'm not one of those people, like I've always told you, if somebody else is on the air, I'll promote them on any station in the market. When Rick and Sons went to mornings, I'm the one that promoted them. That's the only promotion they got. When Brooke, the babbling Brooke, when she went on in the afternoon, they brought her back. I'm the one that promoted that bitch, okay? I don't operate from paranoia. We've been doing just fine here for a very long time, and I have no reason to believe that we don't. That we don't? That we won't? I don't know. My mouth is full of food, like I said. Because right now I'm concentrating on lunch. No, seriously, that doesn't bother me. Like for each, just stop and think of the logic of this. For each complaint that we got out there about, well, they didn't like this that I said, or they didn't like George being on this day, if we're going to change your programming geared to everybody out there, then we'll never please anybody. Yeah, that's it. Let's have everybody call in. There'll be program director. Well, should we talk about this?
No.
But what about, no, not that either. In fact, we can just spend 4 hours every day talking about the stuff we shouldn't be talking about. Like that horny laundry head that called earlier today wants me to talk about sex. What's there to talk about? Quite frankly, talking about it is the American effing way. Doing it, that's more interesting. Talking about it is boring. People that aren't getting any, those are the ones that talk about it a lot, like kids in locker rooms. They talk about it. They're not getting any. The ones that talk about it the most, they're the ones that are the most desperate. So anyway, here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I think that guy was a jerk, man.
Yeah, and?
George does a pretty good show.
Yeah.
I've heard some of the shows that he's
George
done.
does fine, okay? And I'm the one that's got to decide on it, and he does just fine. And if
Yeah.
I'm happy, then everybody else on it. If they don't like it, they don't have to listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard some of the shows he's done, and they're not that. I mean, he's not you though.
Yeah.
There are a lot of. But what I wanted to say was, I think Jerry Falwell is Satan. I'm starting to think that he's the Antichrist.
Yeah, okay, thank you. We have two open lines in Dade. 567. How come the Spicks in this town have got nothing to say about anything? I mean, why seriously, why don't they have anything to say? I mean, we know they got maricon. That we got two very definitive, very good ones yesterday, very emphatic. Maricon, with like the emphasis there on the last syllable. Maricon. But other than that, they got nothing to say. And by the way, they're some of the worst offenders on these sports shows with their stupid, idiotic calls about the heat. Jesus Christ. What is wrong with you people supporting a bunch of 7-foot schwarzes out there putting on a freak show, slam-a-jamming it, okay? That's not a sport anymore. That's a joke. It's a freak show. Here's Miami. Hello. Yeah, whatever you say. What was that? He said he had a good time in Vienna? Something like that. Open line at Dade 1 in Broward. 567. See what I mean? That bears out just what I said. He was not a little Julio. 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Really, is it a lack of education? Could that be it?
Yes.
Do we have like a lot of dumb, silly, immature spicks out there?
Yes.
That must be it. I'm not saying they're the only ones we get stupid calls from, but boy, the percentage is just staggering. The little guys that make up the stories with their fantasy stories, and it just, it's sad. Get a life. Grow up already. Grow the F up. Here's a mobile in Hollywood. Hello.
And who's the genius behind the Don Shula card?
You know who this is?
What's that?
Who is this?
What's the difference? What?
It's that asshole again. Let me say it for the 8 millionth time. We're not going to talk to you. If I had to sit here and talk to myself, if I had to read from the Bible, if I had to recite my bar mitzvah maftir over and over again, we aren't talking to you, okay? You're an asshole. You're an idiot. The audience is offended by the fact that you will refuse to stop calling. And very soon we'll start putting your number on the air too, jackass. What a piece of walking crap. We have an open line at Dade, 5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. 1226 at QAM. I'll tell you one thing. You want to make a fortune, just get a business where you find people a life. Seriously, just open up a place, get a big neon sign, unless it's in Sunrise, and say, find a life place. This is where you come to find a life. In this town, you'll have them lined up for hours every day, morning, noon, and night.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
Do you like chili? Really hot chili? Then you should try O'Malley's new really f***ing hot chili. That's right, O'Malley's new really f***ing hot chili is so hot it's guaranteed to burn the roof of your f***ing mouth or your money back. Made from the hottest jalapenos, spices, and peppers. After just one bite, you'll say, wow, that's the hottest f***ing chili I've ever tasted. That's O'Malley's new really f***ing hot chili. From the makers of goddamn good chowder and ass-kicking soup. Pick some up at your f***ing grocer today. Remember, if it's not O'Malley's, it's not that f***ing hot.
No doubt. 12:31 at 560 WQAM. We got Hank Goldberg coming up at 2 o'clock. 6 o'clock, very briefly, Josh and Jason to fill an hour because Boogster got up this morning real early and he's busy eating right now. And then 7 o'clock, the pregame Panthers at Ottawa tonight. Any interest in that? Big game. Any interest? I didn't think so. Sorry. Open line at Dade, 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. See, I thought I was the one that was supposed to be the whiner. I'm a malcontent. I'm always unhappy about that. And in the meantime, this is the biggest bunch of unhappy people down here. You're on the air for like 20 minutes, and right away, wow, that ruined my day, and I had to turn it down. We don't care if you turn it down. You turn it down right now. It doesn't bother me. I'm not going to lose any sleep. I got a nice free lunch sitting here. I put a nice big fat check in the bank yesterday. I just spoke to my lawyer, who's coming along a lot better, by the way, for those who know Norm. And we got another big fat check from Miami to pay us off for all of that deal through the end of May. Life is going along fine. I got over my crud that I had for 8 weeks, thanks to my good friend Dr. Paskudniak there at Cleveland Clinic. Oh! Thanks for Dr. Paskudniak, by the way, a good guy. Called me yesterday at home to give me my test results. Said you're going to live. The only thing that brought over there in the lab, look at how she butchered up. Look how they butchered my boy. Or no, he doesn't. He said, look how they massacred my boy. Look how they massacred my arm, my vein. Talk about the purple and that ties right in with a Jerry Falwell, like I said yesterday. I got a purple armpit. Oh! Or whatever you call that, not an armpit. What do you call this side of the elbow? The inner side of the elbow? Yeah, sure. That's it.
Uh-huh.
It's purple, baby, and the elbow, too. Because she stuck me good. I think it was because I was, white. Here's Miami. Hello. Miami, hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
I'm just calling to say a little comment about that stupid dirtbag just called there talking about George. He has nothing better to do than wait on your hold, just waiting to get answered, and then just say, "Oh, George did a disgusting job."
Well, how did you like the 25 minutes George did about the perverted sex or whatever he was talking about?
Oh man, I would rip his head off right away. By the way, Neil, you and George do a great job, and keep up the good work, and I love you, Neil.
Okay.
Good job, baby.
Okay. Okay, baby. See, that's my kind of spick right there. He's friendly. We have an open line. Well, they're all friendly. They just don't want the world to know it. That's all. They're just a bunch of pussies. I mean, if you're going to be like a real man, stop being so afraid of your own feelings, okay? Every time we go out and do those appearances, we go to Kendall, we go to South Miami, we go here, and and the overwhelming majority of these Julios, they're cowering in the closet. And one of the reasons being, oh, well, if they happen to look good, I'm going to talk about them on the air. Damn straight. Like Jose. All of a sudden they run. What are they running from? What are they running from? If somebody looks good, then I mentioned on the air, boy, that so-and-so looks pretty damn good. Huh?
Then their boyfriends will tease them,
Exactly. Well, that's fine. If you, like I've said before, if you're born looking good, there's a price you should pay for it. And that's the price. And by the way, they're screaming next door again over here. What is wrong with these people? I mean, I always thought Lee Cutler was a pretty decent guy, although he does look and act a lot like Tom Denenberg. But there's something with these sales holes there next door, man. Louder and louder and louder. By the way, guess what we haven't seen for days now? Fat Boy. How about The Thing? Did he come back? The Thing is not coming back.
No.
Won't see him no more.
Good. Seriously, when the chapter is written about our days in this place, the fact that Greg Reed came down here and stood in this doorway yesterday and tried to justify the idea that anybody in this place would hire The Thing, that to me says everything you ever would need to know about this company, okay? He must have worked real cheap. Here's a mobile in Davie. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
Neil? Do you just dislike all Latins?
No, I don't.
Well, why do you seem to always bust on people, whether they're Cuban or just anybody of Hispanic origin? Why do you always
bust
do
on
that?
every. What did I just get through saying to the last caller? You're like way behind the times, sir. Last caller was a Julio. He was a good guy.
Yeah, but then why do you have to use the term spick?
Why not?
Well, why? I mean, you know,
Why? No,
Brady,
you
know
see,
it's demeaning,
again, this is
it's
like a
harassing.
chicken and the egg, like you're chasing your tail. Why not use it? If I can use the term spook and fag, you have any problem by using the term fag?
Sure.
Why?
Sure, because it's demeaning and degrading.
No, it's not. It's just
Sure
a
it is.
word. No, it's not, and that's why I use them, because the more you use them, it renders them meaningless. It desensitizes people. It makes them realize that words are just words. Even little kids know that. Sticks and stones. You know how that goes, sir, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what's the point?
The point is, a lot of people don't like it.
You know something? Let me say it again. If you don't like it, don't listen. If you're offended, don't listen. I'm not going to sit here and pander based on your definition of what I can say or shouldn't say. Sir?
All right.
And have a great day, eh? A lot of people don't like it. I'm going to tell you something, sir. If I've been doing a radio show for 23 years in Miami based on what I thought people would like, I wouldn't say it. Don't want to offend the religious people. Don't want to offend the Jews, the Julios, the black people. What's the point? It's a radio show. It's entertainment. So that's our poll question. Would you rather be thin-skinned or dark-skinned? That's our poll question today. That'd be it. Man. And you know something? We've got a tremendous number of black people listening to this show. And by the way, not African-American, because there is no such thing. And I don't seem to have any problem. They don't, I use the word schwarzer or spook. Well, but that's the point. They're words. People are people, sir. And one of the most uptight groups of all, by the way, are the Hispanics in South Florida. The Spanish-American League against saying this and against saying that. And, oh, you said this, and you said something about Rosanna Dana, Ileana Ross-Leighton, who's an asshole. People are people, sir. There's good spicks and bad spicks and fag spicks and mediocre ones and dark ones and light ones and big ones and fat ones and skinny ones and beautiful ones. That's it. That's the real world, sir. I hate to break the news to you. That's it. And if if there are people out there too emotionally immature to handle that, then find another show. Turn on Dr. Laura and hear her beat up on men. Here's Coconut Grove. Hello.
Hello, Neil. How are
Yes,
you
sir.
doing?
Okay.
Surviving your day, I see that?
Yes, I'm having a great lunch.
Oh, my God.
A lot of crazy people today. I like it. I love these.
Oh, my God. Gee, what's wrong with people today? Oh.
Maybe Castro has the woodpecker going again today.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Uncle Neil,
Yes.
just got home, and I saw in my backyard what seems to be a red balloon. Well, it's a red balloon with a sign scotch taped to it that says, of course, if my cat can get off the sign, get off. It says, the Jews made a crucifix. They made Christ carry it. On it, they killed him, and you worship it? What a shame. 2 Corinthians 4:4.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, tied to that, listen to this, tied to that balloon.
Here's Tony Orlando.
Exactly, without the yellow ribbon, just the red ribbon. There's a little...
Thank God it's not a purple ribbon.
No, red ribbon.
Okay.
Otherwise, Jerry Falwell will drop the balloon.
Mm-hmm.
There's a sign inside a cellophane bag talking about the Armageddon and all the, ills of the world and all the catastrophes. So maybe you should give me the phone to that lady who's checking on the toilet paper.
Yeah.
For what this is, we're going to die in a couple of years. There's a huge asteroid that's going to strike the Earth, and all the, calamities and everything's going to...
So that's a good news. So that means they don't need your money anymore. So keep it in your pocket and just have a good time with it.
Jeez, what's wrong with people today, man?
The word is crazy, sir.
Oh, my God.
Crazy. Religion is crazy, and don't forget.
That's the American fucking way.
Exactly.
You got it.
God bless you, sir.
Have a good day, Neil.
Okay, don't squeeze it too hard.
Never.
And the balloon either.
No.
Okay, we have an open line and date, 5670560 and pound 560 on the mobile one line. 21 till 1 on QAM, where we're having a great day today.
Oh!
The kind of day I like, see? I like talking to a lot of crazy people. We had some good, this last guy's a good guy. That other Julio we had for 3-4, he was okay. And then in between, we had the other guy who's very bad. A lot of people are offended by it. No crap. Whoa. Man, if I would have only known that, I'd still be doing those boring nutrition shows I was doing 15 years ago and making about $15,000 a year, if I was lucky. By the way, if anybody wants to know what a nice guy I am, ask George or Norm Kent, okay? Just mention that in passing, okay? Everybody thinks I'm a miserable son of a bitch. It's a radio show. I happen probably to be one of the nicest people in the world. Probably too nice. But I am a good guy. Thank you. You're welcome.
Oh, my God, your breasts are beautiful.
My sack is like a thimble and my nuts are like pearls. I don't even have enough to pack a swirl. I tried secret lotions and technology, but it don't get no bigger than a golf tee. There's nothing I can do.
No.
I only got a 3-inch tool. You'll be disappointed when we reach my house, 'cause you won't know for sure if I'm a man or a mouse. It ain't no Big Mac, more like a Happy Meal. You'd get more satisfaction from your high heel. You'll swear I was in the pool,
Yes.
'cause I only got a 3-inch tool. Sometimes at night I wonder if it will ever grow. If I was a homosexual, I couldn't even push in your stool. Ooh, it looks like Mr. Peanut without the cane. It's got capillaries instead of veins. I could cut circulation with a pinky ring. For Halloween I dress it like a buffalo wing. It's in a suction tube, 'cause I only got a 3-inch tool. Even with a metric rule, I only got a 3-inch tool. Tell them, guys.
Yeah, you got a 3-inch tool.
Oh,
yeah, you got a 3-inch tool.
Come here, honey.
Yeah, you got a 3-inch tool.
It's quality, not quantity.
You got a 3-inch tool.
Now, if I could only find a 3-inch toolbox.
What are they singing? He's got a 3-inch stool? I think that's what they'd be singing. Stay away from him. That typhoid's going around bad. It's 12:46 at 560 QAM. Great lunch today, Chuck and Nisi. Maybe a little bit too much, but it was sure great. Here's a mobile in Hollywood. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I was just wondering something. Have you ever played any sports?
Have I ever played any sports?
Yes, when you were younger?
Yes.
You have? Which one?
Baseball.
Baseball?
Yeah.
Okay. 'Cause
Why?
usually people that criticize something usually have to have done it before.
Meaning what?
Well, you criticize
I'm a big
athletes,
hockey fan. Does that mean I was a hockey player when I was a kid? Of course not. You don't have to play a sport to enjoy it.
You're absolutely correct, sir.
First of all, when you say when I'm criticizing things, I'm talking about the people who are talking about these things. I'm not criticizing the sports per se, although there's some that I don't enjoy, like the NBA, for example. But nevertheless, I watch plenty of football. I watch tons and tons of hockey, a little bit of baseball. I'm getting fed up with it. I'm talking about the discourse that goes on about it, sir.
Okay.
You think that when you hear the calls on this radio station about sports, would you say that there's a high level of conversation that goes on?
No. Absolutely not.
It's embarrassing. I love listening to Hank, but listening to the people that call in on that show, it makes me want to... Great. Wasn't that clever? Oh, my God. That was so clever. Now, see, here's another sports nerd, okay? That's his idea of being clever. He says, go yourself, because am I a supporter of the First Amendment? I'm also a supporter of protecting our license, okay, sir? Do you understand that?
No.
Didn't think so. 2 open lines in Dade, 5670560 and pound 560 on the mobile one line. See, he's got to take a little shot. He's got to start out about, did you ever play any sports? You know, we know you're a pansy. Did you ever play any sports? You ever wear a jockstrap? Because, you know, I hate to break the news to you, sir. The entire world doesn't view life through your eyes. I know that comes as a great shock, and the fact that there's some jackass like me on here expressing a point of view that just might be different from yours. Oh, my God, I guess you're too emotionally immature to handle it, like I told the other guy. A lot of emotional cripples out there in the naked city.
Yes.
Here's a lady in Aventura. Hello.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, I spoke to you a couple of weeks ago and I was sick and the back of my head hurt and it's anyway, here I am. Remember me?
Are you better?
Much.
Oh,
much
good.
better.
Me too.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Maybe we should go out.
No.
But no, I know. You haven't changed your mind about that. But I've been listening to you very carefully.
You what?
I've been listening to you very carefully.
Yes.
And I think the reason the great appeal that you have is because you are looking for the truth. You're an intellectual.
I'm not looking for anything, no.
No.
I'm not looking for any
great
ultimate
tradition.
truth, no.
But Neil, you are in the great tradition of the great rabbis that studied the Torah.
No. The great rabbis that studied the Torahs were idiots. They were reading bubble mice, these fairy tales. I'm absolutely the antithesis of them.
But so close in certain ways.
No.
You don't think so?
No. Let me say it again. No.
Well, I think the reason you're disillusioned is because
I'm disillusioned about what? What am I disillusioned about? I'm not disillusioned. I just talk about things the way they really are. I'm not disillusioned.
No, but I'm disillusioned.
I don't have some kind of a jaded view of life. When I tell you the way it is, that's the way it is.
And you're telling the truth.
Yeah, so what's the point? What am I disillusioned
about? The point is that
about?
a lot of people hate you for that.
Yeah, well, what do I care?
And a lot of love you for it, too, because they recognize that that's what you're trying to get.
It's a radio show. Let me say it again. We're not changing the world here. It's a radio show in a very, very dead-ass place in South Florida.
Well, maybe because the whole world is going crazy, and this is a symptom of it.
Okay. Feel better. Call us back when your head straightens out. Woo! Woo! We have open lines in Dade, 5670560 and pound 560 on a mobile one line, okay? Actually, you've got a little head problem. You've got to understand. Here's Boynton Beach. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello now.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel life is passing me by. Today's my birthday.
Yeah.
I'm getting old. Neil, I seen a movie. A porno.
Yeah.
Thank you. I seen a movie about a year ago. It was a porno with two of your favorite people.
Yeah.
Ron Jeremy and Kathy Willits. And she was talking about you in the movie while he was doing her.
Yeah.
Anyhow, she was talking about how many times she was doing people a day, and you were off by about 4 people, she says.
Uh-huh.
Anyhow, I have a request, if possible.
If it'll end this call, sir, maybe we might just get it.
I'm sorry, Neil.
Don't be sorry. It's just your terminal.
Well, what can
Even
I
that
say?
woman that preceded you, it's a real tight race, nip and tuck. I know that's a real shot, but think about it.
That's why I don't call often.
Good. But anyway.
One of those ass songs with the peanuts and stuff in it.
One of those ad songs?
Ass.
Peanut in your ass?
It's one of those songs, and they talk about passing peanuts and stuff. I don't know the title of it. You haven't played it in a while.
Passing peanuts?
Yeah.
Okay, pass the gas and have a great day. Happy birthday to you, pal, and don't do this again. Woo! We have an open line at Broward, all 3 in Dade. It's starting to thin out again here. We got an hour and 8 minutes to go till 2 o'clock. Going to make it?
No.
I don't think so. You might offend somebody. Don't you understand? Don't you care?
No.
5670560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. Come on, let's all be politically correct. Let's just kiss each other's ass. Let's do a Larry King thing, okay? Let's just suck as hard as we can, see how it feels. Here's a mobile in Cooper City. Hello.
Hi, Neil. Wow, you're having a tough morning and beginning of afternoon.
No, I'm not.
with all
I'm
this-
having a wonderful day, sir. What can I do for
Let
you?
me tell you what. I'm a f***ing proud Colombian.
Yes.
I wish I had. Remember that guy, that gringo guy that every once in a while calls you talking shit
crap about he's an
about
asshole from
us?
Fort Myers. He's
Well,
a real
you know what? I would just love to just stay with him for a couple of minutes and show him what real f***ing Colombians are all about. But in any case, I didn't call you for this.
Yeah.
I love hockey. I love hockey since I got to United. Hold on, let me finish. I'm Colombian. I love soccer until I met what hockey was all about.
Yeah.
Love hockey. Love your beautiful leaves. But I like, I guess, the Panthers because I live in Sunrise too. I don't know. I've seen them for the past 2-3 years, and I like the guys. What can I say?
That's okay.
Anyone
Good.
anyone who doesn't smoke ganja, especially the Jamaican, really doesn't know what life is all about. Another one. See, I have all my things written down before because
Good.
I know that
Great.
if I'm not enough too smart for you,
When
you're
in doubt,
gonna.
write it out. That's good.
Hey, listen.
If we're good enough for Walt Whitman, it's good enough for you.
I know why these assholes over here don't like you. I really do. I've been asking. I know.
Which assholes are we talking about?
I'm talking about women. I'm talking about Colombians. I'm talking about Americans. I'm talking about all parts.
Colombians don't like me?
Listen, I
thought
like you.
Colombians
I love
don't
you,
like
man. I love you. I like the only people I hear in radio is you. You know why? You make me laugh. The thing why they don't like you, they take you seriously.
Yeah.
You're a nice guy. I love gay people. I have gay people in my family and all around since I never even knew about. Now I went back
some of
to
my best friends are gay, right?
Listen, I went to my country after 10 years not being there, found out that most of my nephews and nieces were doing it behind my back.
Right, each other, yeah.
Each other. Anyways, they're happy now. I love that.
They were doing it in the back? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, well,
okay,
who knows?
listen, I got to run, pal. Hasta que me olvides.
Hey, see you. I love you, Neil. I really
Okay.
love you.
Little kiss.
Okay.
There you
Besos.
go, okay. Okay, we have an open line at Broward, 567. Can't we all just kiss and get along? Come on. 567-0560, pound 560 on the mobile one line. I'll tell you about something that's long and round and fully packed. Great cigar from Nick's. That's right, a Perdomo Reserve or a Dos Rios.
It's not just the 1 to 2 hour. It's a phenomenon.
Oh! Bill cigars in Monica's vagina. She lets out a giggle when he makes it wiggle. Monica is not the kind you can do in the behind.
No.
But a cigar in her vagina, she don't mind.
I like it. I like it.
Well, he don't know where a stogie goes. I can see how there was some confusion between humidor and humid whore. And in Arkansas, the term cedar box means saw her naked. Stars report can lead to going blind. Now Clinton, he was working hard, late nights in the ovary office, working on a practical joke. He took a Macanudo, put an exploding load in. Poor Monica was blowing rings of smoke. Bill cigars in Monica's vagina.
All right.
She lets out a giggle every time he makes it wiggle. Monica is not the kind you can do in the behind, but a cigar in her vagina, she don't mind. Oh, people feel that Hillary's been made a fool of by her husband. Feel that Hillary was wronged. Up in the Lincoln bedroom, she was moaning, moaning. Al Gore was doing her with Bill's old bong. Bill cigars in Monica's vagina.
Start licking.
She lets out a giggle every friggin' time he makes it wiggle. Monica is not the kind you can do in the behind.
Rectum.
But a cigar in her vagina, she don't mind. Oh, Candy is dancing. Yeah, Dutch Master is faster. Oh, yeah. What you gotta do is take a Temperillo and put it in a brick. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, now a cigar and oh, yeah.
How's that Brooke doing, by the way? Anybody listening?
No.
Thank you. We have an open line at Dade, 567. Now, see, that particular bit, I could play that every day for the rest of my life. Would it ever get old? No. Come on.
No.
Good. No, seriously, it's just so great. It's just such a classic. It's just so brilliantly done. It's just so, even though I hate James Taylor, I hate James Taylor like poison. If I ever hear Fire and Rain again, I'm going to, no matter where I am, I could be in the middle of anywhere. I could be right in the boss's orifice, and if the music Fire and Rain with James Taylor, Power 96 by mistake someday, if they change the floor mat, and I heard the music wafting down the hall, so I was too far on his shoes, okay? 2 open lines a day, 567-0560 and pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a lady in Coral Springs. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to know, are you a Howard Stern wannabe?
No.
Because this seems like that's what you want to be.
No. Well, I don't want to be Howard. I'm doing very well on my own, and long before I ever heard Howard was also doing very well.
Well, you sound like that's what
No, I
you
don't
want to
sound
be.
at
You're
all like
very
Howard.
negative.
No.
You can't take any criticism.
Let me say this to you,
You
okay?
can't take criticism.
First of all, bitch, I'm not interested in criticism, okay? This is a radio show. This is entertainment. I'm not interested in your critique. I couldn't care less about what you think. And isn't it interesting how many of the women, you know, we've had some wacky guys like we always have, but is it possible that we get one rational woman here today?
No.
God. And one of the guys are as crazy as a bedbug. They all sound like they're all flipped out this week. I'm not interested in your criticism, sweetheart. Howard does his thing. I do my thing. Phil Henry does his thing. Everybody's got their own shtick, okay? And the fact that you don't like it, let me say it again, which I would still have her on there, but obviously I'm not going to listen to her crap. Why would she be listening? Why in the world could she possibly? And I'll tell you why. Because she knows in a part of her brain that the things that I'm saying that bother her so much, they happen to be true. And she can't turn it off. We have a whole segment of this audience who will never put it down in a diary, by the way. This is our closet audience. The religious nuts, the right-wing nuts, well, whatever the hell they happen to be. The sexual Puritans, I mean, a combination of all of the above. Oh, my God, it's just so horrible what he says. I hate to break the news to you, sweetheart. Number one, it's a radio show, and number two, when I say it, you can take it to the bank. Here's a mobile in Tavernier. Hello? Mobile in Tavernier.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Let me say it again. Yes, sir.
Mobile in Tavernier. I can't reach you, Neil.
What do you mean you can't reach me? You can't hear me?
Neil, I can't hear you.
Okay, call me back. Or not. Open line at Dade 1 in Broward. You can't reach me. Short arms. Alligator arms. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Miami. Hello?
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're wondering, do you have a fixation with rectums and farting?
No, I don't. Do you?
Obviously you do.
No, I don't have any fixation with anything. Do you, sir? And here's another guy that's unhappy. Sir, let me ask you a question right up front before we continue with this very good conversation. Why do you listen to this show?
Because you're fun to listen to.
Okay, thank you. 2 open lines in Dade, 5670560.
Rectum.
And pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I don't have a fixation with anything, sir. Let me say it again. I know this comes as a great shock. It's a radio show. How do you like that?
Oh, my God.
Wow. What a concept. Another guy with no material. Here's Naples. Hello.
What? Naples, me?
Naples, you.
Oh, boy, I'll tell you. Okay, first of all.
Calm down. Just
20
take a deep
years,
breath.
the best card of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, that line.
Rectum.
Cedar Box, Arkansas, the greatest line in American.
That's right. That is one of the great lines in history.
In American literature.
Uh-huh.
That guy who called you up, I hope he's still listening.
He's still stiff? Which one is that?
You moron. What difference is it?
Oh! I tried to tell him to calm down, but he just couldn't do it. Oh, boy. Woo! I'll tell you something. Yesterday I tried to really get him worked up. Couldn't do it, could I?
No.
But today they're already worked up. Man, oh, man, whatever energy they had repressed yesterday, it's pouring out today, baby. Oh. Man. Woo! Heavy duty. Yeah, that bitch that called before, she was the winner, though. She was the best one of the whole day. We've had so many. So many special people today, but she was the best. Are you a Howard Stern wannabe? I mean, you're so negative, and you can't take any criticism. Whoever heard of anybody doing a radio show, any person in his or its right mind, asking the people to call up and critique their performance? You're critiquing by the fact that you're listening. That's your critique. And if you're listening, whether you want to admit it or not, that means you like it. Whether you want to admit that or not. You can't deny it. If you're listening, you like it. Because you're doing it by choice. There's 8 million other pieces of crap you could be listening to right now, or doing right now, or thinking right now, or taking a good nap, or going out in the sun and getting a good melanoma started. But no, you're choosing to listen to this. Nobody's holding you at gunpoint. March 1st, it'll be 23 years I've been on the air in this town. Never once heard of anybody held at gunpoint forced to listen to this show. Never one time, not once. So that's your critique. If you're listening, sweetheart, you like it.
I love this show.
Are you a fat, disgusting pig? Well, finally, there's a miraculous new drug that will help you lose weight. For idiots. Now you no longer have to blame your thyroids for your obesity. For Idiots is designed to melt those pounds away without the need to exercise or diet. For Idiots cannot be used if you have hypoglycemia, diabetes, cancer, ptomaine poisoning, romaine lettuce, chronic diarrhea, halitosis, a little wee-wee, smegma, psoriasis, seborrhea, glaucoma, Lewinsky rolls, toe cheese, pecorino cheese, rim cheese, blue cheese, AIDS, pimples, a third eye, vagina teeth, red blood, and any Hansen CDs. Side effects include vomiting, schwitzing, the green apple quick step, and certain death. But you'll be thinner. Ask your doctor for idiots.
By the way, that Boca Brian, he's the best, you know. Oh! 113 at 560. Oh, my God. These people out there, man, these people, they're beautiful. You're just beautiful, folks. You're the best. 5670560 and pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Let's get that I Hate Boca guy calling in again. What was his number? Here's a lady in Boca. Hello.
Hi, Neil. How
Yes,
are you
ma'am.
today?
Do we have a real lady on here today?
Yes, I am.
Yes?
I've been listening to you since I was 19. I'm now 33.
All right.
And you are great.
Yes,
you
I
say
am.
something, you back yourself up. You don't go where the wind blows. You know what you want. And
I
that's
don't go
why
where
I
it
like
blows
you.
unless it feels good. That's right.
Hey, unless it's blowing up your skirt, right?
Right.
But I called because, I just came home from work for lunch, and I heard that woman on the air, and she's a bitch.
Now, which one was this? We had
the
a
one,
couple.
the Howard Stern lady.
Oh, the Howard Stern wannabe lady. Yeah.
My
I
God.
think she's a wannabe lady.
She doesn't know that Howard Stern's got 100 writers.
Right.
You just do
Oh,
right
listen,
off the top of your head.
I don't even-
bam, bam, bam.
I don't even dignify those callers anymore. I used to get so much of that crap. I changed my act 15 years ago before I ever heard the Howard Stern show. I've been on the air in this market for 23 years before anybody here ever heard of Howard Stern. He's doing great. He's got his thing. He does his thing with, like you said, with a whole circus of people and writers and everything, and that's fine. This is a show that's on in the middle of the day. It's not the morning anymore. I know she doesn't have a watch, but it's not the morning anymore.
Exactly. And my last thing I wanted to tell you is I went to my first Panther game on Monday night,
Right.
Tuesday night, against the Blues.
Oh, sorry. Well,
Even
this
though
was
they
an exciting
lost,
game anyway.
I still had a great time.
Right.
I really did, and I'm going again.
All right.
Have a good day, Neil.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, even if your team loses sometimes, at least it's an exciting game like that Leafs-Carolina game last night. Like I said, I'm the only person that found it on the small dish and probably the only person in the world that saw it down here.
Lead pass. Breakaway for Shepard. Stop by Curtis Joseph. Rebound put it up the center. Shutdown. Backhand shot goes wide. Holy Mackinac. He keeps it in the game at 4-3. Sending in for Derek King. And that was turned aside by Curtis Lasician. Denny. Into the corner. Karpatsev pushes it away. Derek King to the side. Cleared ahead. Here's Sullivan in the foot race. From Curtis Joseph. In a goal. Curtis Joseph will get his fifth assist. And Steve Sullivan ties the game.
See, there you go. Even though my team lost, one of the most exciting sporting events in the history of the human goddamn race. The crowd was ballistic. Joe Bullen was on the verge of losing it. It was a back and forth and up, and that was great. And these people, well, do you think that 7-foot Sparta can score 30 points a game this year? I mean, what the people in this town know about sports, that's the main reason why they can't talk about it, because they know nothing about it. You know, like I'm hearing one of our people, I don't want to mention Boo by name, when the orange hair, talking on the air the other night, was it last night? Talking to one of our board ops about how he was watching the Princeton-Penn basketball game. Oh, my God. And I think some of them had a bet on it. See, you know, there's GA, Gamblers Anonymous. What we have here at QAM, which is very bizarre, maybe the only station in the country, we have our own chapter. It's called GA Junior. We have GM Junior, which, of course, is Sam Douchebag, the promotions guy, who thinks he's the junior general manager. And, by the way, you're a liar, Sam, okay? We had our own little kangaroo court in here, and Joe Costello came down to be on a shadow of a doubt. You're a liar, Sam. But, hey, we're used to it. Here's a mobile in Hialeah. Hello.
Uncle Neely.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you touched on it just a second ago.
I touched it, yeah.
Being on the air 22 years. You got an anniversary coming up this month, don't
March
you?
1st, yes. March 1st,
Yeah,
23
March-
years, right.
Yeah, it's always the day after my birthday. I'm always the one who calls to wish you a happy anniversary the day after my birthday. I keep reminding you that your 14th anniversary.
Yeah.
Your 14th anniversary, you had all your boyfriends in there. I was one of them in the studio on 79th Street.
All my boyfriends?
Well, all the guys that you liked.
Who was that?
Acquaintances, friends. In fact, with the exception of Gilbert, he was in there that day.
Oh, yeah, he's my boyfriend, yeah.
You remember that day on 79th Street? You had about 5-6 guys in there? Bunch
No.
of food, bunch of pizza?
No.
No. Well, if you got another one of those going, just put me on the guest list. Talk to you later.
You were there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was in there.
Okay, I'll see you.
Okay, bye.
Okay, I have no idea. You remember that? You do remember that? Well, who the hell was there?
Sure. Whole bunch of people. Misfits mostly.
I bet your refrigerator Bob wasn't there. He was here yesterday, by the way. Wanted me to do a little interview for him for about the tabloid TV. Good guy. Brought us our little refrigerator, which we still have in the other room, by the way. Oh! Thank you, Bob. You're a good man. Good luck. We got our microwave. And you know what's interesting about this hand-me-down studio that we got here? We got the Sylvania TV with built-in VCR from our friend Jeff Cohen at Pizza Loft. Thank you, Jeff.
Oh!
We got this. What?
Used.
What do you mean?
It was used.
I cannot believe that you said that. So was the refrigerator and so was the microwave. Are we going to, boy, you're getting bad. You know, let this guy do a half hour on the air the other day, and all of a sudden he's bitching that the TV was, it looked like brand new to me. I'm not saying we got a Sony 52-inch XBR in here like I have at home, but the studio is probably a little bit too small for that, don't you think?
Uh-huh.
God. So Jeff Cohen provided us with the TV. The people at
Digital World Satellite.
I've got a mental block. Digital World Satellite. Oh, and by the way, here's the deal. I'm so sick and tired of waiting on Greg Reed, and these other people around here are such a bunch of pussies. Some of them talk a good game, but they're pussies, okay? I will pay. Seriously, I want you to find out when the show ends today. Find out if they've made arrangements to put in a DSS upstairs in their studio, and if not, I will pay out of my own pocket. I don't want to be reimbursed. That's how embarrassed I am for a multi-million-dollar company that's got KISS pumping in the money for them, Power 96 pumping in the money for them, and if it weren't for all the money we got to pay to Wayne, this place pumping the money through for them. And it's so goddamn cheap that they want, make excuses and keep stalling. You find out from Digital, from our friends over there, and we're not looking for a freebie. I'll pay for whatever the dish costs and the installation up there and the tuner. Okay? Because, I just came into this little windfall the last couple of days, whatever it is, and it's not even for us. We got our own here. But like I started saying, the refrigerator was given to us, the little microwave we got. These people provide you with absolutely the big nothing. Nothing. And then the big guy with the bad hairdo, the Gregster, comes down here the other day and's got the balls to look at me straight in the face and say, gee, I don't understand. We built on this beautiful new studio upstairs and they're bitching about it. The audience doesn't see the walls. I know that comes as a tremendous shock to a guy who knows little or nothing about this business. The audience can't see the walls. It's like when we first moved into Paxton and they built us that beautiful palatial studio. Remember?
Roy!
They got rid of most of our carts, by the way. But in spite of that. And nobody could see it. Much of it was superfluous. In fact, when Buddy Bud came in that one day, remember that? And I gave him the little tour of the joint. I said, I hate to break the news to you, but they wasted a lot of your money because some of this stuff looks really great, but we never have to use it. We don't need a DAT player in the talk studio, And he said, what's that? Here's Coral Gables. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing there, buddy?
Great.
I love your show, man. Just got to tell you.
Here's
it's
somebody
awesome.
that likes the show. It's the first one.
Oh!
You and that lady that just called. You're the only ones that like the show.
Yeah, forget what the other people say, man.
Screw 'em.
Listen, that's what I got to tell you, buddy.
Yes, sir.
All these religious right people, they got me going crazy already. I'll tell you the truth.
The religious wrong, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much. Look, my dad's a priest or whatever you call him, like a reverend. And you know something? Something. You know what I tell him? All these little Jerry Falwell butt lickers, all right? If they could hear me out. You guys are all a fraud. They're all frauds. They all want your money, and they all want to say, yeah, we're going to heal you. Get the...
Okay, great. That was caught up by then, surely. Certainly. Well, I hope. Okay, was it caught up? 5670560 and pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hi, Mr. Rogers. How are you?
Yes, sir, Mr. Caller. How are you?
How are you? Nick,
Great,
I
how are
want
you?
to make a comment regarding Nick Alvarez.
Nick Alvarez?
Yes, a friend of yours, long time. Nick,
Okay, whatever he said, okay? We have an open line at Dade, 5670560 and pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Tavernier. Hello.
Oh, wow. What's going on?
Oh, they're wild today, man. They're worked up. The jungle juice came in. The shipment came in.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Neil, you're the best. You're the best. I mean, even on hold. It's
yeah,
great.
you're getting extra entertainment because you're on hold. That's right.
Anyway.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Getting back to these guys, these guys that call in on these sports shows.
Yes.
I've never been a big sports fan. You've turned me on to hockey, and I've carried over to listen to Hank. He's very informative.
Yeah.
But these guys that call up these shows, I mean, I just can't listen to them. It sounds, you heard of verbal intercourse. This is verbal masturbation.
Right, you're right. That's exactly correct.
I mean, it's like a radio circle jerk.
Right.
I just don't get it. ponderous, it's boring, and it's sad. That's why
I haven't had a chance to listen too much to the other sports talk stations around the country because, I live here. But if you were in a market where the people really knew sports, where they really understood it and they knew the names of the players, and they really knew what they were talking about, then maybe it might be pretty entertaining. But as soon as the calls start, man, the quality of the what's coming out of the speaker just degenerates so rapidly because it's the same tired garbage and the same inning. Hey, you think Levon's going to win 20 games this year? I mean, even if that had been a rational question from like a living and breathing adult, how the hell does anybody know the answer? I mean, what, like you said, mental masturbation. What's the point?
You think
it's gonna rain in the next hour? I mean,
exactly.
That's the same kind of thing.
There's no information. It's like they all practice with Mr. Microphone in front of the mirror, and they're all auditioning for some announcer post.
Absolutely correct, sir.
I don't get it. And a second thing, did you hear on the news yesterday that we were talking about this a while back? There's a South American country that is putting out a Monica cigar, and it's got her likeness on it.
It's got her moniker on there, yeah.
And they're selling a load of them. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
watch how you use that word. Have a great day, pal.
Okay, thank you, Neil.
Yeah. Okay, I hear what you said. Watch where that squirt load goes. We have an open line seat, and let me say it again. If she would have just dry cleaned the goddamn dress, we wouldn't be in this mess, okay? In fact, I'm going to tell you something. All these experts up there, I'll tell you what would have solved the problem. Forget about even getting to that point. If she wouldn't have been such a bitch, if she would have swallowed, am I right? There you go. If she would have listened to Dr. Ruth and swallowed, then we wouldn't have had no mess on the dress. We would have had no DNA evidence. We'd have had no Ken Starr anymore. This would have been all over a long time ago. And the people at CNN and MSNBC and CNBC, they'd all be pissed off. And Fox News Network. So I guess it helped the economy. By the way, Alan Greenspan must have said something good. The Dow, the NASDAQ is up 60, was up 70-something. And the Dow's up almost 194 points. Let's hear it. Oh! Thank God for our investments, okay? Just keep going out there buying stock. Don't worry about whether it's really worth it or not. Just keep buying and buying, please. I hear that Hilton Hotel is the best damn chain in the world. Here's West Palm Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yeah.
What's up? How you doing?
Okay.
Hey, I was wondering, when you go to the Panthers-Toronto game in hockey, who do you root for?
Okay, we have an open line in Dade, 5670560 and pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Port St. Lucie?
Neil, I hate this show. I hate you, but I listen every day.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand what these people. They come, they say they hate you, but they listen.
Yeah.
They got to be listening.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing. Maybe.
Open line in Dade, 1 in Broward, 5670560 and pound 560. Well, he's probably, he used to be like a normal guy until Greg moved in next door to him up there in Port St. Lucie. That would put anybody over the edge.
Yes.
He used to be okay. Here's Oakland Park. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
New listener, first-time caller. I've never actually been on the radio before.
Well, you might be our best caller of the day before this is over with, sir.
All right. The Channel 4 has this program on tonight.
Oh, by the way, speaking of Channel 4, the new news team they got, oh, my God, this guy they brought in from out of town, and this Angela Ray, who I used to like her except for that thing on her lip, but Angela Ray used to be a pretty good news bro. She is doing the St. Vitus dance routine now, man. She caught it from Channel 7. They really bite the big one, but go ahead, I'm sorry.
But they're doing this thing on what everybody's gripe is about what the problem.
Yeah, they've been doing that all week. Yeah.
Yeah. Tonight is the language barrier, which more people speaking.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. But anyway.
Hi, Papa Juan Pablo.
My problem is, they just can't speak English. I feel like it's I'm sorry. I feel like it's an invasion of America. They want to retake America, at least the southernmost part of it. They come from Mexico, Cuba, and Spain and everything, and they want to remake it as if it was as if they never lost the war, But my last comment is, if they can make a Mexican Chihuahua speak English, they can make a human speak English.
Excellent. Okay, speak it English. Arrivederci.
See you later.
Ciao. Hasta luego. Hasta que me olvides. We have an open line in Broward, 5670560. Well, he's up on Oakland Park, okay? Just stick around up there by the sawgrass. You'll find a lot of people speaking English.
Anybody have a heart or a liver?
No.
Then
lemon jello, orange jello, gas X, X-lax, you roll, Duke-lax, Dimetap, Desinix, lower mid, Lawanda, Lashonda, Lasix, Claritin, Formica, Dexatrim, Lanolin, Fluorescent, Cavity, Ovaltine, Tramonine, Benzene, Aboshine, Letitia, Geldie, Lindol, Iclit, Queen, and Hestonine, Movie, Cola, Aspergum, Metamucil, Enema, and Barium. Mambo, Balamo, Shakalaka, Lanacane, Camel, Vanille, Dairy Ease, and Rogaine, Gotcha, Got Sorbitol, Duzzy, and Tylenol. What's with the names that they be given to the black kid? Do they think it's Mo Afro? Yes. Look for names at the drugstore. Yeah. Euphora, Latoya, Pandora, Creamora, Sen, Bufferin, Dead Man, etc. Robitussin, Yoplay, Triaminic, Usilix, Low Dose, Tipo, Robocelta, Secret, Skyrolotion, Motrin, Raisinnet, Tagamet, Playtex, Malconex, Tic Tac, Epicat, Nitome, Ilata, Cetacol, and Geritol, Psoriasis, Lativa, Setmoria, Nyquil, Triaminic, Pixenprel, Phytodermachine, and Badger Cell, Syphilis, and Gonorrhea, Neutrogena, and Moesha. What's with the names that they be given to the black kid? Do they think it's Mo Afro? Beautiful names at the drugstore. Yes. Yo, 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 yo. Why do they think it's black to give the kid those dumb names? With all the names that they'll find at the corner of Wall Street.
Okay, 133. We all be looking for something. I guarantee you that. Find it yet?
No.
Here's a mobile in Sunrise. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Neil?
Great.
Hey, I just want to tell you I love your show. I listen to you every day. And,
all right.
And I've come to one conclusion.
Yes.
You don't have an antenna outside. You have an idiot magnet. And I'm going to hang up now before I become a statistic.
Okay. Open line at Broward, 5670560. So anyway, that's what we want, an idiot magnet or a satellite dish, one or the other. I'm serious about that, too, by the way. And when we do move up there, upstairs, whatever we need, I'm going to pay for it. And, of course, people are saying, well, you're pretty dumb saying that. Well, I got news for you. If I don't get it for myself, we'll never get it. Because Greg Reed, see, I know people, I have friends, I have relatives, a lot of acquaintances during the course of my life who are cheap. Not necessarily bad people, but cheap. But I'm going to tell you something. In my lifetime, I've never encountered anyone as cheap as Greg Reed. And he can blame the Beasleys. I mean, seriously, if he could blame them, which he won't do openly, but if they're the reason, if they're that cheap, then what does it say about him? Let me ask you this. Do we have petty cash in this place like we used to have at IOD? Do we have such a thing? We do. How much could it take? How much could it take to buy a satellite dish and have the engineer install it? A couple $100. Some of the places, they're practically giving them away, like $99 with the rebate, because the DirecTV, the people you subscribe with, they want to get all the new customers by having you have the dish. I mean, this is a man so unbelievably cheap that it makes a lot of people change their tune when they think of using that expression, getting Jewed down. Yeah, he's going to change that expression to getting goyed down. That's how cheap he is. Seriously. All over the world they're going to be saying, oh, gee, they really goyed me down in that joint. Here's a lady in Coral Springs. Hello.
Yes, I'm the one that called you the Howard Stern wannabe.
Oh, you're calling back a second time. Well, guess what, sweetheart? Once a king, always a king. But once tonight's enough. No second calls for anybody, even real callers, even good callers, okay? And isn't this interesting? She's still listening. Oh. Yes! Oh, man! I'm having a party in my pants. She's still listening. And also, I should have seen on there how many minutes she held on again the second time. I got news for her, lady. There is nobody, I mean nobody, who's got anything important enough to be allowed to call this show twice in one day. Here's West Palm Beach. Hello.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
In regards to a caller that called a little while ago, and even though you don't need anybody certainly to say this, but I think George does a damn good job.
Yes, he does.
And furthermore, I appreciate the fact that when he does what he does, he doesn't try to be you. He doesn't try to be anybody else. He does his own thing. And I enjoy listening to him, and it's a lot better than listening to Geldie, for example.
Right. I agree. And George says thank you so much.
And thank you so much.
And see ya. That's right. I was thinking that the other day, driving. It's funny he mentioned that. I'm driving up to the dock day, and I'm thinking, boy, even on his worst day, George is 1,000 times better than Geldie. And yet it's interesting, even though we took that little mini poll at the beginning of the show today, the sports nerds, like I've told you before, if they had a monkey, if they had a chimpanzee on there in the morning along with Defoe and the little dog, they would, hey, Chimp, how you doing this morning? What do you think about that Heat game tomorrow night? It doesn't make any difference. It makes no difference when the kids, like 6 to 7, and they're good guys, you know, Josh and Jason, all of them, they're good guys, but they're like, what, 10 years old, you know? They're young guys. And they're, well, what are your thoughts? What is your take on? I mean, you think they're going to cover the spread? I mean, it's one thing if you have a sports gambling problem. But if you have a sports gambling problem and you're that desperate that you're asking 8-year-old kids what their thoughts are on a game that you're about to bet on, trust me, please call the man with the butterfly net. Have yourself put away before you really wind up off Taurus. Okay, do you know what I'm saying? You follow what I'm my drift? Please. Open line in Broward, 567-0560 and pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line, 22 till 2, and Hank will be here. Then we got 6 o'clock, Josh and Jason, right? And then 7 o'clock we got Geldie.
Friedman.
Geldie. What?
Josh Friedman.
Oh, Josh Friedman. Now, see, I want to say this to you. I was thinking about this also. See, I don't know what's gotten into you since we came into probably maybe a little bitterness in this place, which I can easily understand with all the lunkheads around here. You have to separate personal from business. The show he did that I commended him on that night, he did a good show. It was a good show. Forgetting if you can separate, if you forget that it was him. You didn't listen because you're not interested in sports. You don't listen to the station. I happened to be in the car. I heard it. He did a good job.
He gets all the credit in the world for being a good guy on the air. And his thoughts are pretty good, too.
There you go. It's just that we separate. Now, that's business. Okay? Personally, he is unctuous. He's fat. He smells bad. He's repulsive to most of the people in this place. So if we could put him in a hermetically sealed studio and give him some airtime every now and then, we'd like Josh Friedman. Oh! And I don't dislike him to begin with. It's just that George has such an intense dislike. I mean, a bitter hatred, especially after he slopped all those chicken livers on the board during the week that they were down here. I mean, just munged all over our equipment in there, as marginal as it is. I just thought I'd set the record straight. 21 till 2 at 560 QAM. You know,
this is the most disgusting program. I urge everyone to complain to this station.
Coming this summer to a theater near you. It started out as an innocent weekend rafting trip with the guys. Until... Deliverance 98. Meet today's hottest young TV stars as they make the jump to the big screen. Deliverance 98, starring Kyle, Kenny, and Cartman. Monkey, bend over and squeal like a pig.
Get away from my hand.
I said squeal, fat ass.
I'm not fed yet. Give it time to go. And I don't want to bro.
Watch hillbillies take turns on all the South Park kids.
Oh, my God. They fucking up Kenny.
Deliverance 98, this summer.
Don't be a dildo. Don't see the movie, goddammit.
Rectum. Okay, 144 at 560 WQM. Where will we be going next? Here, now, okay, I see we got some ladies on here. Maybe they might be like real normal people. Here's a lady in Norland. Hello.
Hi, Neil. Usually I'm working, so I don't get a chance to call you.
Yeah.
And I missed the very first part of your show today, but you sound to me like you're really feeling better.
Yes, I am.
Because you can tell it in your voice.
I feel great.
And not to change the subject too much, but you had been talking about the famous restaurant on South Beach, years ago.
Yeah.
And I wondered, did you ever go to the Royal Hungarian, which was a kosher Jewish restaurant?
No,
over?
I remember the Hungarian Charta that was on Biscayne and about 125th, something like that.
Uh-huh.
In that area. In fact, on one corner, I think it used to be Rocky Graziani's, which is great, the Italian place.
Right.
And then there was the Hungarian Charta was across the street, I believe. They're both very good.
Uh-huh. But years ago, I worked there.
Yeah.
And after Mom and Pop died, the sons took over.
Yeah.
And and of course they wore their little beanies, And I was raised outside of Detroit, and I never really had seen Jewish people too much till I came to Miami.
Uh-huh.
And
you said,
it was funny because as soon as the parents died, the kids blew it after they went to college and had all these educations.
Well, they probably took the beanies off, too. That's what did it. Yeah, that'll get you every time.
Okay, and just real quick, I listen to you on a tiny little radio I can put in my pocket.
Right.
And in my buildings at work, the ones that have the little light bulbs, I can hear you. The ones that have, I was going to say neon, but it's fluorescent, the long ones,
Right, fluorescent.
long round ones.
Yeah, that messes up AM.
That messes it up totally.
Yeah. So in Sunrise, if they want to do us a public service, forget about the neon lights. Let's get rid of the fluorescent. Let's do that. Have a great day.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we have an open line today. Yeah, there was nothing like the famous on Washington Avenue. I'll tell you that right now. Don't let anybody sell you a bill of goods, okay? They're not in business anymore, so it's not like a free plug, but God, do I wish they were. That was a place. Those were the days when I first came here, 76, when there were still some remnants of life in this town, when it was still a schmaltzy place. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Anybody that listens to Howard, a typical nobody.
Yeah.
Go Red Wings.
Yeah, okay. Go Red Wings. Goodbye. Open line at Dade 1 in Broward, 567-0560 and pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Stewart. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I was in Stewart. I'm in Jupiter now. Anyways.
Next will be on
Uranus.
Right.
Anyways, last week you were talking about the Petri oil, and I didn't quite hear if you had ever gone and gone.
No, not Petri. Tea tree, with a T as in Tom.
Oh, tea tree.
Tea tree oil.
Oh, I thought it was
And
Petri.
George's accountant, who's one of those Orthodox lunatics, brought me some at the hockey game, and of course, being as cheap as he is, charged me the $5.50 for a little bottle. And I'll tell you, man, you open that thing up and it smells. I mean, you say, wow, but it didn't do a damn thing.
Oh, really?
No, because my doctor, he told me it was allergies to my Adalat, my blood pressure medicine. He gave me a different drug. In just a few days now, I'm feeling great, and the tea tree still smells bad.
Oh, all right.
But if you got anybody, if you want to chase away any pain in the ass intruders, just put an open bottle of that by the door. You'll be alone forever.
Neil, one other thing. Now that you're over there with the jocks, Joe Rose and DeForest and them, did they let you shower with them or what?
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet?
No.
Okay.
They're still upstairs on the third floor.
All right.
Have a great day, sir. Okay. In fact, when Ray Whitney comes in, we have a special shower down here that he and I are going to be sharing. We have an open line at Dade, 567, he don't know yet, 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a Lady Mobile in Boca. Hello. Lady Mobile in Boca.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi.
Hi.
I want to tell you that I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller, originally from Copenhagen.
All right. Great.
We love you.
What a great
and,
place.
I'm a season ticket holder in Section 115. I'd love to be able to come over and say hello to you.
Well, do it. I'll be there Monday night, Section 101.
My husband got me addicted to listening to you. He's a great guy, but he's another one of those repressed, won't talk about sex guys.
Oh, my God. And from Copenhagen?
Thinks about it. He's not.
Oh, I
He's
see.
not. I am.
Well, you better bring him into the 21st century.
He thinks about it all the time, won't talk about it.
Yeah. Well,
we love you. We'll
maybe
see you at
maybe
the
just
game.
doing it is better. Okay, I'll see you Monday.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Copenhagen, there's a real place. A real country. There's real people. The Danes, the Great Danes. We have an open line at Dade, 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T. I'll tell you one thing, boy, this audience sure had a big turnaround today. They went from a coma yesterday and they're just spewing it, baby. They're wild today. They're on fire today. Don't ask me what's in the jungle juice, but it's pretty damn good. Now that that lady that called earlier, that called back a second time, you can't call twice in one day, but it would be real interesting if she'll call me tomorrow. Why are you looking at me with that quizzical look on your face? Seriously, I would entertain her call tomorrow, briefly, because I'm curious to see whether she wants to apologize for the error of her ways, for the idiotic, grotesque, unacceptable things that she said, which we know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, anybody with an IQ larger than their thumb size knows it's a bunch of crap. That's right. Or whether she's going to continue, even if she would, you follow my thinking, if she would make the effort to tune in again and still call back? See, let me say it again. Anybody who keeps subjecting itself to something it doesn't like, it finds offensive, is obviously either a masochist, an idiot, or both of the above. Right?
Yes.
10 before 2. In fact, just take all of the above.
All of these things.
And put them together and you got it.